And we're live. So this is Symbaroum, the mark of the beast. Okay, playing today, yeah, playing today are Carl, a human, Ran, a changeling, and Bog, the goblin. Bog. Okay, so you have made your way. Let's get the map up of the area you're actually in. Screen share. Cool. So we'll start off with this one, because this is the world map. So the Ambrians, who were living further down, this is the Titans. So the Ambrians were living the other side of the Titans. There was a rather large war with some Dark Lords, and they fled after defeating some. They fled their blight-driven country and settled in this area. Prior to them coming several centuries beforehand, this whole area was a giant kingdom of Symbaroum. Of Symbar, sorry. Something happened. The civilization was wiped out. The forest grew, and a darkness grew within the forest, so that you can be corrupted by the evil that's there. The particular area we are, no, that's not it. The particular area we are going to be dealing with is this area here. So Ran comes from Agrella, and Bog and Carl were in the mountains around here as part of a cult. Along with the dwarf, you found that the dwarf was captured and was going to be sacrificed. It wasn't until Bog, the goblin, broke into the cult's temple to do some stealing that Carl decided, or was able to escape with both Bog and the dwarf. In doing so, around here somewhere, Carl died, but came back from the undead, came back from death, as it were, and has been travelling with Bog and the dwarf ever since, making your way closer to Thistlehold, as that seemed to be a more cosmopolitan and accepting place, or the perception was there. Somewhere along the road, you met with Ran, the changeling, who had his own reasons to go to Thistlehold. And you met up and decided to travel together because the reasons that Ran had for going to Thistlehold seemed to be as good as any. And the reasons for Ran going to Thistlehold was that a friend of his father's, Master Vernon, lives in Thistlehold, and because Ran had wanted to be an explorer and go exploring within the woods of Darkhold, Ran decided that with the letters from his father, if he were to go to meet Master Vernon could help facilitate an explorer's license, and therefore give him permission to go within the woods and explore the darkness, or the dark woods, as it were. And that's where you met up. Let me just get rid of that. And you found yourselves in the town of Thistlehold, in the Witch and Familiar Inn. Now Thistlehold is, no, Thistlehold, where's Thistlehold? So Thistlehold is at the very edge of the woods, and it is this big. So let's go present to everyone. So Thistlehold, you came in from this direction, and around where the cursor is where the Witch and Familiar are. You don't know.
Sorry, it's just me. I'm just not seeing your cursor.
Have I? Okay, number 9. If you can't see it.
Cool. Got that. Thank you.
Roughly number 9-ish. Cool. You know roughly where Master Vernon's academy is. It's north of the Park of the Elders. Now you don't know where the Park of the Elders is, but you know that's roughly where it is. So you begin. Let me get rid of Where's my mouse gone? So you begin in this area here, in the Witch and Familiar pub. The three of you.
Assuming we're, are we staying here? Or are we just having something
Yes,
to eat and drink?
you've got rooms for the night. We'll say you've got rooms for the week.
Well, we'll
to make it
ask
easier.
where the park is while we're getting, There's this park. Where is this park?
Okay, so number 9 is the Witch and Familiar. So we start the adventure downstairs in the drinking room of the Witch and Familiar. One of the less, one of the most expensive pubs in Thistlehold.
Are we?
But it's not the roughest of pubs. There is a place called the Saloons of Symbaroum, which is further north of where you are, and that's the rougher part of town. That's where all the pleasure houses are, should we say? Now, so
we don't have time for pleasure.
Yeah.
We need to get that license so we can go to Davokar.
Devakar's the large wood. Now the licenses are easy to obtain if you've got letters. There is a cost to them. It will be around 10 thaler a month, 50 thaler a year. But they just give you a license to go into the woods.
Well, it's 10 thaler for the group.
Yes, the group of 2 to 5 of you. There are some additional add-ons. Lost the page again.
How many shillings in a thaler?
That's a good question.
I think it's thaler's the main money.
It should be 10.
Yeah, I think there's Ortegs as well.
I'll look that up. Sorry.
I can't remember the.
1 thaler is 10 shillings. 100 Ortegs.
So that's your ultimate goal. So you're in the bar, and it's evening time. You've been there a couple of hours. Haven't really had a chance to do anything other than set your rooms up.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So we're looking for Master Vernon. Was that the correct?
Master Vernon.
Yeah.
It's Master Vernon's Academy. Now you know him loosely. He was a friend of your father's, and you met him a couple of times. You could recognise him, but it's been a while since you've seen him.
Do we know what it's an academy of? Do I know what it's an academy of?
Teaching. He teaches.
Well, that narrows it down.
It's an It's not magic. It's an educational.
An educational establishment.
Yes,
Okay.
he teaches people to read and write. He does lots of work with
reading and writing. Whoa!
Yeah,
that's pretty revolutionary.
It's all the rage.
And okay, well then I shall go to the bar and ask the barman if he knows where Master Vernon's Academy is.
Well, the portly chap behind the counter. He says, Master Vernon.
Master Vernon. That's what I'm looking for.
Are you going to say, because you know roughly where it is, it's north of the Park of the Elders.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Master Vernon, Park of the Elders. I can tell you where the Park of the Elders is.
Well, that at least gets us in the ballpark, as it were.
So he says, head due east
Mm-hmm.
along the main thoroughfare until you
Yeah.
get to the triangular park. He describes this area here, number 39, as the Park of the Elders. So north of there is...
so east all the way to the central square, and then keep going east, northeast from there to the park.
Yes.
Triangular Park. Okay.
So, Triangular Park, and that's it's closer towards the east gate, but that's where the Park of the Elders is. So I would imagine you'll find Master Vernon's establishment there. There are some very fine establishments, very fine education establishments there. I would imagine that it's there somewhere. I haven't heard of Master Vernon myself, but...
Well, thank you, sir. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to Carl and Bog. Is it Bog?
Bog.
Bog. So, well, chaps, I've got the landlord there has given me a rough idea of where to go. I suggest we go and try and see if we can find the place right away. No time to waste.
Well, we're not doing anything else this evening, so yeah, let's maybe we'll not disturb them, but
let's
find
explore this famous town.
So you're going to head out straight away. So we shall say...
seems to have stopped again.
Oh, it's still there. You're I know you've gone again. So we shall say, for argument's sake, that it is... let's start at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. So you head out of the Witching Familiar. It's very dark and grim place. Thistlehold's only about 15 years old. It's not a very old town. Lots of construction. The goblins help build or reconstruct large parts of the town a while ago. The mayor of Thistlehold, Mayor Nightpitch, had a deal with the goblins, and they constructed a large portion of the town. Outside of the town, there is an up-and-coming settlement called Blackmoor, where some of the goblins live. But it's growing into its own little village. But that's kind of an overspill if you can't get into Thistlehold itself. You head east and come to the first square. The first square is called... Here we go. First square 26, 36 is the Queen's Square. Heading further east.
Sorry, have we any of us been here before?
No.
Okay, well, is this like I know it's a relatively big town, it's a new town, so is it one of the bigger towns we've seen, or have we...
It's more a frontier town, so it's the Ambrians buffer between the new Ambrian country and Darkova. So everyone uses Thistlehold as an access point to the woods. In the woods, there is the barbarians and the witches, and they use this as a kind of a trading port between the two. At the very top, you can't see the map. I'm staring at the map. Let me get the map back up. So at the top of the map, obviously the green section is the wood itself. The north gate is only around 200 yards between the north gate and the woods. Each of the round sections on the wall are towers. The Lord Nightpitch has got his house. No, his what's it called?
Estate.
Yeah, his estate, the Night Home, at number 27. Number 33 is the Town Watch Barracks. Number 35 is the Antique Plaza. Other than that, it's a matter of exploring the area. So you only really know from information you picked up on the road that there are the rough outlines of Thistlehold.
How many people live here? Do we know?
That's a good question. How many people live in Thistlehold?
What's the size of it?
I can't remember. I think 10,000 inside the walls at any given time.
Well, let's continue our wandering and maybe a bit of goggling. It's 10,000 is a big city, isn't it? I mean, I know you say it's frontier, but
yeah,
or like a really small city block.
Yeah.
So
you make your way eastwards along the path. As you start making your way, everyone make a vigilance check. Base vigilance.
So we want to roll under a vigilance.
You roll it under vigilance. So vigilance is in essence can be used for spot hidden.
And success.
Yeah, no.
Ran. As you begin, you fail. So it's just Ran that's it. Okay. As you begin to walk along the road, you see out of the corner of your eye a little urchin girl who's darting backwards and forwards, and suddenly runs at you and grabs your leg and falls to the ground in front of you. And she says to you, "Don't let the witch hunter take me." And you can see her crying into your eyes. "Please don't let the witch hunter take me."
I immediately check my wallet, my pouch. Version. You can't trust these humans.
Okay, so you know the witch hunters are, as their name implies, a bunch of guys, a bunch of black coats that go around the countryside hunting witches because they don't like them. So witches witches in this world are not like witches in our world. Whilst some are persecuted, they are the mages or magic users, and in some respect clerics of the barbarian people. So they're well respected within the woods.
And my understanding from the reading is the goblins and the dwarves, etc. We were here in this part of the world prior to the kingdom coming up, so we feel, is that we're sort of we think well of them. We don't have any,
there will be some humans that don't like goblins because they're goblins, but it's not like that D&D.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. Shorts, but there's not that D&D in which you would go and kill the goblins and dwarves and orcs, because that's what you do to them. They coexisting. So you've got a mishmash of a miasma of peoples. The goblins are hired to do work. There will be some people that aren't happy with them, but generally goblins are very useful.
You're a little more than a servant race to these humans.
The changeling, now, it's going to slow down. The changeling, they are a kind of elven babies. The elves are...
My true parents were elves.
Yeah, your true parents were elves, and they abducted the child that your adopted parents had, and left you in their place. And you have certain shape-shifting abilities. The human that was taken, the baby, that's an entirely different race of or character class of abducted humans.
Yeah, but I don't have shape-shifting abilities.
I thought you had.
No.
I thought you've got, didn't you?
No, you can take that. You can have them as an ability, but they have to be taken as an action ability.
Okay.
So I've got 5 other abilities.
Okie dokie.
It's not a problem.
No, that's right. I put telepathic interrogation.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no problem. Okay,
Work will
so
let it go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is look around and see if I see any witch hunters, because they do wear a uniform, right?
they do. You are sort of aware of what they might look like. You haven't come across any. So if you make another vigilance check,
Fail.
you fail. Okay, you're the girl is getting quite agitated.
Obviously, I know what's happening at this point, so I'm going to look around also, just in case.
Okay, I'm gonna grab her by the hand, and can I see like a dark alleyway or a group of people that I can mingle into?
There is a crowd gathering, and you do start hearing murmurs of there she is, the abomination, the Flayer. And as you begin to hear that, stepping out into the path in front of you is a couple of chaps wearing long black coats.
Okay.
And you hear one of the chaps bellow in the top of his voice, "In the name of the Black Coat, Balmello, give us the heretic or be branded heretics yourselves."
Okay. I'm going to use my witch sight ability.
Yep.
To perceive the girl's shadow.
Okay.
The dominant shadow, yes?
Yes. So make a resolute.
It's
base
a
resolute.
It's a vigilant test.
Vigilance, yes.
Against
I could look around.
Yeah, because it's not spear.
Yeah. So do I have? It's supposed to be modified by her discreet. Would that be the case in this case?
No.
Okay, so it's just a straight vigilant test.
Straight vigilant test because she has no stats.
Okay. And that is a success.
She has a uncorrupted shadow.
Aha!
Unaware of all of this, having failed
Okay,
all of my vigilance rolls,
hang on.
Yep.
I'm sort of looking around and then sort of pointing to us. Us? You mean us?
You 3, 4, with the girl. You 4, stand. Hold still. And they begin to start walking towards you, the 3 of them.
Sort of step up next to Ran, so that I'm next to him, and I have my spear sort of nonchalantly in my hand, and say, "What have you gotten us into?"
All right. Well, I'm going to draw myself up to my full 5-foot height and look at the witch hunters and say, "Gentlemen, I think there seems to be some mistake here, isn't there?"
There's no mistake. Give us the heretic. Hand over the heretic.
I see no heretic.
There.
I see a child, a human child. Who's a child?
Who's a child? Bring us the heretic, and we'll let you go.
But
she's going, it's horrid. Help me.
So why are you after this little girl? She's an innocent little girl, like all of the other people around us.
You believe she's a Flayer?
A Flayer, you say? What exactly? What's a Flayer? The Flayer.
You've been living under the Flayer. She's an abomination. You've been living on a rock, man.
When this is going on, I'd like to use my witch sight on them.
Okay.
Is that just a vigilance test? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Vigilance test against.
That's not great. So you say
base vigilance test.
Yes, by 1.
Okay, it's their shadows grey and black speckled, like sooty wadmill, whatever wadmill is. They are corrupted. If you were to give it a scale of 1 to 5, you'd think they're a corruption. Definitely corrupted.
I whisper to Ran, "These are not good people."
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to address the crowd and say, good people, look at this. Surely you know this innocent little girl. She is just one of you. These strangers have come from outside, and they're and accusing you, this girl, accusing you, honest, normal people like us, of corruption. How can a little girl like this be in any way corrupted? It is because these gentlemen are so bad at their jobs. They're looking for any excuse that they can find. And as always, the common people are the ones who suffer. The common people. It's time we rose up against these totalitarian oppressors and strike a blow for the common man, for the real, honest, hardworking people, innocent people, against these ridiculous accusations, etc.
Make a persuade roll.
Yeah, I'm a storyteller, so I get a plus on that.
You do.
How much of a plus do I get for that?
+1, isn't it?
+1, I think, yeah.
Yes, yes, not a...
Yes, no problem.
Okay, how much of the crowd are going to get behind you? A large portion of the crowd start nodding their heads. You do get some dissenters, but you have swayed the crowd enough that they are on your side, or you feel they're on your side. This unnerves the henchmen a little bit. Says, and they start looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them begins to go for his sword and pull it out slightly. And the larger one of the three puts his hand on his arm and says, Balmello will hear of this. You mark my words. And they step back and they begin to walk away as you've got the crowd on your side.
Yeah, and as they go away, I taunt them with, yes, that's it. Slink away with your tail between your legs. See, and I turn to the people, see the power of the populace working as one against the oppressor. Remember
if anybody
this.
punches them, we'll pay their legal fees.
Yes.
It's time to drain the swamp.
Yeah, you need to...
Maybe not.
It's a big swamp. Drain it and refill it with... No, anyway. So the crowd is behind you.
It's time for all peoples, changelings like me. Yeah.
Oh, you just lost the crowd.
I'm not saying that. Even goblins should have some rights.
Well, I don't know about that. What do you mean goblins? So many little things. One of those goblins nicked my rat. One of those goblins nicked my pet rat. I don't like goblins.
Let's stick to little girls. That works.
Yeah, I'll stick to little girls. Anyway, okay, so let's slink away with the tail between the legs.
And the little girl looks up to you and she goes, "Oh, thank you for that. They were going to burn me.
Why would they after you, little one?
They thought I was this flare thing, this abomination that's been killing people the last week or so."
How did they find you, little one?
I was in the alleyway, and they just came upon me. They just attacked me for no reason. I don't know. They just wanted me. I don't know. I don't understand. These black coats, they're really bad people.
They seem to be.
Yes.
Well, they are not supposed to be.
No, I don't know why they came after me. I got accused of witchcraft after a neighbour tried to nick my hen house. I live with my mother. She tried to claim that my hen house was her hen house. And when I refused to give my hen house to her, she cried witch. And they've been persecuting me around the town, chasing me for the last couple of hours. I just want to go home.
Okay. Do you know which way your home lies? Do you know how to
North.
get back there?
Yes, I live north by the North Gate.
Well, gentlemen, shall we take a little detour and take this little girl home before something else happens to her?
I think we can always find our destination tomorrow if needs be.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so we're going to strike off north, and I'm holding the little girl's hand.
Okay, she starts.
I'm keeping an eye
Initially,
around.
there's some reluctance to holding your hand, and after about 20-25 minutes of walking, her hand relaxes
Mhm.
until she's actually holding it with you rather than you holding her hand. A few minutes pass after that, and she points to the North Gate, and she says, I live around. So you've come up here. You can see the cursor slowly, and around this area here, she says, that's where I live. She takes two of you to a hovel, nothing more than a grubby shed with a small shed out the back, which has some kind of chicken, duck-like creatures in. She says, that's my house. I'll be okay from here.
Well, let's just check, will we, little human?
Yes, good idea.
Just make sure your mother is still there.
Okay. How would you like to do?
Oh,
Yes,
knock on the door and see what
You
happens.
rap at the door, and an older-looking lady, looking very similar to the young girl, opens the door, and she goes, Tenid, where have you been? I've been worried sick. What are you doing with these men, Goblin?
Well, madam, you should be worried because your little girl was we found her being chased by witch hunters, accusing her of witchcraft. And if it wasn't for a timely intervention, she could have been seriously injured.
I don't know what to say.
Dead.
I can offer you. Let me make you tea. Let me make you food, for your troubles. Please.
Okay.
I can cook you a chicken. Tenid, go at the back and get
No,
the
don't cook any chickens for us. We're fine. A cup of tea would be more than enough.
cup of tea.
We've just come from the
I can make you a cup of tea. So she lets you in the house, and she boils some leaves and makes you the worst cup of tea you have ever had.
This is
It
really good.
horrible. It's really horrible. You're forcing it down. It's that bad. It's made. You think it's made with sawdust, and it's not the best cup of tea. She says, "Oh, it's fantastic. You helped save my daughter." And Tenid starts rambling on about this, the next door neighbour, and being accused of witchcraft. And the mother says to her that you go to bed now, and I will deal with old Mother Hubbard next door. Don't you worry. Kind says, what brings you to Thistlehold at this time of year?
We are seeking an adventurer's license to go to Davokar.
Oh, exciting!
Aye.
I hope you have more luck than those adventurers that came back the other day.
Oh yes, what happened to them?
Well, they came back, and they were full of gold. And within a couple of weeks, they'd all gone, all been killed. They killed each other. They had gold blindness or something. They were just they went quite off the rails. Two of them ran away west. Didn't hear much of it. You get some adventurers come through who make lots of money, and you get some people go off adventuring that never come back.
Fascinating.
I think the blight gets them.
The blight? What's the blight? Oh, the corruption.
The corruption.
I see.
Yes. Or the spiders.
The spiders?
Spiders. There
What
are
spiders?
spiders in the woods. Big spiders in the woods. Bigger than a horse.
How big? Like this
Big.
size?
Bigger than an auroch with legs. The bodies of aurochs are big animals that we use to till the land, and their bodies are as big as those with legs twice as long. Or as the rumors say, the adventurers that come back along the river towards Carvosti, the plateau out in the woods. There's spiders around there. And she begins to describe some areas of the woods on a fourth, sixth hand basis. So she starts describing areas of the woods that she's heard rumors of. And some of them you've heard before. You hadn't heard the spiders before. But
we've never been to the woods before, have we?
No. Ran was born in the woods, but has no knowledge of the woods whatsoever. Because obviously, as an elf, you would have been.
Indeed. That's why I want to go back. I need to find my heritage. Instead of this ridiculous human world that I find myself in.
I'm just here for the cat.
You're a changeling. Ooh. Haven't seen a changeling for a while. Can you do that shapeshifty thing that they do?
I'm not a trained animal.
Oh, I do apologise, sir. I please don't be offended. I didn't mean anything by it. It's my peasant ways, and she looks a bit panicked with her having offended you.
Oh, never mind. No worries at all. I'm just happy that the little girl is safe. Well, perhaps we should be on our way. Do you need any... your daughter told us that your next-door neighbour was responsible for these witchcraft accusations.
Well, we own the hen house in the yard, and old Mother Hubbard, who was the original tenant of the two houses, as she got older, she just took over the tenancy in the smaller house, has always claimed ownership of the hen house. But it's been ours. We pay for it. It's ours. And this seemed to have come to a head earlier when she was shouting that on the top of her off the rooftops that Tenid was the abomination. She was the Flair. She was a witch. She'd stolen her hen house, and that's when it all kicked off. And Tenid ran off, and the Blackcoats seemed to have chased her. I will be having a word with my landlady and old Mother Hubbard tomorrow.
Well, perhaps I should go and see old Mother Hubbard myself.
I sort of turn and look at you with a raised eyebrow. It's like, what? Not quite sure how humans deal with these things, but, those guys were very big and had swords.
Yeah. I
have a sword.
If you could have a chat with her, that would be fantastic, sir. She says.
I think so. I think we should go and have a little chat with old Mother Hubbard. We can't have random accusations of witchcraft being spread around.
Fine.
I mean, it's a little girl.
Yes. This poor, penniless little girl. Let's help her.
Okay. So you're going to pop next door and have a chat with old Mother Hubbard.
I'm going to pop next door to her small house. It's so small, it's almost cupboard-sized.
It is. It is a very small, grubby house that it kind of looks shoey.
As we're standing outside, I turn to Ran and say, right, I'm going to keep an eye out here just in case. I didn't like the look of those three guys, and they may know where they came from.
Good thinking, my little green friend.
So,
we're about the same height, aren't we?
No, I think goblins are much smaller. Goblins are, as you would expect, 4 foot tall, whereas changelings are...
You're basically a rat on its hind legs.
Yes. Yeah.
So says the changeling, the abomination. That's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to rap on this lady's door.
And what comes to the door looks like a classic witch. She has a black robes on. She has hairy beard. She has like one tooth, a long nose, and she has a greenish tint to her skin. And she says, "Hello, can I help you? What do you want?"
Okay, perhaps I should use my wit sight again.
Okay.
Is there a discrete modifier on this?
No, she's just a peasant woman.
It's just
She's
a
basic. She's just a basic.
All right, that's success. What does your shadow look like?
If you were to give it a mark out of 10, you'd think it was a 1.
1 as in it's fine?
It's most of a 0, slightly corrupted, but then she is old.
But then again, who isn't? Okay.
She's
so
very
she just
old.
looks like a witch.
Yeah, she's in her late 30s, so very, very old. No, she looks like she's 60, 70 old. Yeah, she's really old, this lady. So it's just decades of being this close to the wood has slightly corrupted. But you wouldn't immediately assume she's beyond help, but she does look like a fairy tale witch.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Yes, madam. I hear you were saying some nasty things about about your next door neighbor there, that little girl.
Oh, the abomination. Yes, she stole my hen house.
Okay, so I'm going to pull out my dagger and toss it from hand to hand and say that and look at her and go, yes, well, that's quite enough of that nonsense, isn't it?
And you hear a voice just across the way saying, "Subtle, I like it."
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Enough of that nonsense.
You won't be making any accusations about that family again, am I right?
Make a persuade roll.
We wouldn't want accidents to happen.
Make a persuade roll. You get a plus.
I get a what? A plus?
So it's going to be, where's the thing? +2. No, -2.
I still feel it.
Still failing.
Mm-hmm. 16.
Oh, she says,
"Oh dear."
Well, I don't know about that. These people move in next door, steal my hen house, send in some ragamuffin ruffian to threaten me. I may have to put in I may have to speak to the town's watch. I'm sure the head of the watch, Captain Marvello, will love to hear about...
Captain who, sorry?
Marvello, head of the watch, town watch.
Is that the same guy? Is that the same guy we heard them talk about, the witch hunters talk about earlier?
No, that's a B.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, very well. You do what you must. I will leave you be. But I'm sure the town watch have had enough of your nonsense as well by now.
I'm sure they haven't.
All right. Good night to you, madam. And I'm going to turn my head and walk away.
Riddance, she says. Good riddance. She slams her door.
As we walk away, I just say, "Smooth."
Yeah. At least I tried.
Yes.
So a quick rules question, just on our abilities.
Yep.
Are they all at basic level, or?
Yes,
or what?
you're all novice. All novice.
Cool.
Yeah, it was easier just doing novice levels for everyone.
Yes.
Before she closes the door.
Yeah.
How quick is Shadow Switch?
Very quick, I believe.
Shadow Switch. Mm-hmm.
We apologize for intruding on you, madam.
Yes.
I just touch her shoulder.
Oh. Make a basic quick roll. So I'll give you -3.
Well, that should go great.
So you've got to get under 15.
But do I have to touch the person?
Yeah. Just roll under 15 to see if you can actually touch her.
Let me just see.
It's not hard to do. Just
A roll 13. I get
You
minus
just-
3, so that's 12. So I missed.
no. You just need to get under 15.
Okay.
Either because it's resolute rather than quick.
Oh,
made.
resolute.
Yeah.
Great.
So you touch her arm just as she shuts the door. She shudders a little bit. And you have managed to switch shadows. That lasts 24 hours.
I exhale.
Excellent.
I think you will find it easy to get the watch to take a look at her now.
Okay.
Excellent.
So let's go and speak to them, shall we?
The watch are based the opposite end of the. Now you know where the watch are. If I can find the map again.
Well, presumably they'll have some people on patrol. Otherwise
Yes.
They wouldn't be watching much.
No, and at this time of night, because of where you are, let me just share this. Because of where you are, you've got the watchtowers,
Sorry. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and obviously you've got little watchtowers around. It's no big deal to run up to one of the watchtowers and speak with one of the town's watch. It would be quite easy to do.
Well, off we go.
Okay. Well,
To get where you are, you have to go past the salons of Symbaroum. So that whole area, where number 6 is, the whole area is a cesspit of bars, gambling dens, pleasure houses, and other nefarious places.
mm.
Number 37 is the Toad's Square. 34 is the Beacon. Now the Beacon, I don't know. I've got a picture of the Beacon. The Beacon's a large. There we go. Let me go with the Beacon. So the Beacon is in essence a land. What's it called?
Lighthouse.
It's a land lighthouse. So let me talk one. So,
All right.
so the Beacon is that place there. So you are in the town. You're walking up towards that.
Why are we going to the war? I asked asked Ryan.
Yes. Well, Carl, what exactly did you do there?
Nothing. I just looked at her closely. She's quite a corrupt creature.
Okay. Well, I looked at her closely and she wasn't corrupt.
I didn't
Are
look at her at
you
all
certain?
because I don't really care.
Are you certain what you did worked? Maybe you should look again. So I saw an abomination in front of me.
Well, I'll believe you in
You
this
you
case.
could peep through the window or one of the cracks in the door. They're not. It's not a very well made door.
Carl,
You could peek through and have another look if you wanted to.
I'll trust him. I've had enough temporary corruption already so far. Hey, Goran, is there any reason why your thing says "fuck" every so often?
If there's a reason why I what?
Oh, right. Yeah. Your screen says "FUK" when you speak.
Oh, sorry. Let me just see.
Yeah.
Because that's my Google name.
Obviously.
It's basically fuck Google. So obviously, does it say something else now?
No.
It's just a FUK.
Ah,
That's
damn it.
to change that in the right hand side of the screen where you've got your.
Yes, I changed the display name, but it doesn't.
Oh well,
I
never
think-
mind. I don't mind.
No, I hadn't noticed it until you mentioned it.
It's hard.
Let me just
Once
see
you
it.
see it, you can't unsee it. That's the
No,
problem.
no.
How about now? Is this better?
No, it's still there. It's okay. It's there.
Too bad.
Sad.
Enjoy my Google name.
Okay.
So
All right. So we go to the town watch, and by the way, we made a note of what that street was and where she was, so we can
yes,
find our way back. So I'll find a member of the town watch and say, "Excuse me, sir.
yes. Can I help you, young man, or what appears to
We've
be
been
your problem?"
hearing all sorts of stories about an abomination on the loose."
Just to say, I'm hanging back away.
Okay.
An
And
abomination. You mean the rumours of the Flayer?
I've been hearing all sorts of rumors, but we were just down the street of the disheveled laundromat, and
Oh yes.
there's an old lady living there, hook nose, greeny skin, old Mother Hubbard.
Oh yes, she's been in and talking to us about the theft of a hen house that appears not to be hers or is hers.
Well, I was walking past her house, and I couldn't, and her door was slightly open, and she seemed to be making strange incantations and stirring in a large pot and throwing strange creatures into it. So I was wondering if you could maybe just take a little look in there, because it seemed very suspicious to me.
Make a persuade roll.
And I did.
Against a +1. Okay. He says, "So, show me. Come, James, come with me." He calls another chap out with him, and the two town's watchmen say, "Show us where she lives. We'll have a chat with this old lady."
We walk her down to the house then, and so obviously we'd really rather keep this discreet between us.
I'm following at a small distance. I'm not
Certainly.
with these people.
Um,
Framing little old
Some
lady.
of the people don't. You don't, as a goblin running around, you don't register because the goblins are used for so much and are so that they are effectively the domestics. They just ignore you. You just don't from their perception. So they take you down to the you take them down to the house. They knock on the door.
I will just wander off down the street while they're doing it.
Hello. As you're wandering off, you can hear an argument between the two, and the chap that he brought with him, you can hear him screech at the top of his voice, "It's true, she is a blight beast, grab her!" And there's a shuffling, and as you're walking further south, you can see the two watchmen dragging this old lady up the street, screaming that she's no such witch, she's perfectly normal, and she starts screaming and blaming everyone under the sun, but they wander off into the darkness with the old lady.
I think that's what's called poetic justice, my friend.
Yes. And for the next 24 hours, she is a totally corrupt. She has a corrupt shadow. So I'm going to say it's 6 in the evening.
Well, shall we head back to the academy, where we were going before we got so rudely interrupted?
Is it easy enough to navigate in the dark here?
There are lanterns up about. You would need to ask somebody the way. There are people. It's not. There isn't a curfew for shops. There would be the odd shop open or the odd pub open, but you would need to ask somebody the directions because you've never been here.
Okay.
There are, as you're walking down the road, you can see a market stall selling something in boxes. There appears to be a couple of people around, and he's selling something. Lump meat, come and buy my lump meat. He starts shouting, "Lump meat, come and buy my lump meat." As you get closer, there's a meat thing on a stick. That he's it's street food. He has cooked it. It could be any small creature with 4 legs. Lump meat. Can I interest you in a lump meat, sir?
We have eaten, haven't we, in the pub before we came out?
No, you decided just to leave. It
How much
could be a lump meat. 1 Orteg.
I give him an Orteg for a lump meat.
Okay, it's the best rat you've ever tasted.
Rat on a stick.
Rat on a stick. Can I interest you in a lump meat, sir? He says, he points to Ran.
It's really good.
No.
I would like
I
some, but
spit out the leg bone. It's really good.
I would like some, but I'd like to make them later at home. Do you mind if I take a few fresh ones?
Yes, certainly. Again, one or take a rat, no problem. How fresh would you like them?
As fresh as possible.
You crack, and a couple of cracks, and he gives you a bag that is just shaking a little bit as it slowly subsides as the not rigor mortis, as the death throes of whatever the creature was rattle about. 2 or take, sir. No sticks.
No sticks, thank you.
No sticks. Anything else, sir, that I can help you with?
Nope,
I think that will be all. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Like directions or anything? If I'm
Directions, we're heading to, yes. Directions are a good idea. To the park of the
elders.
Elders. We're looking for Master Vernon's Academy.
Right, so we're going to head down here at the corner of the road, take the left fork, keep going. At the crossroads, go over the crossroads. At the next crossroads, take a right. Can keep going a short distance. Stay to the left of the right. Head down, and then you'll come to another crossroads where the Park of the Elders is, and there's a academy around there.
Okay.
So which way would you like to go? No. So you head into the heart of Thistlehold. After about 20 minutes, you find yourself standing in the Park of the Elders.
Excellent.
From what your father told you about where Mr. Vernon lives, where his academy is, you look around to the north and you see a number of buildings that seem to be big enough to be an academy. One sticks out a little bit more than the others, as there is a little plaque above the door, which from where you're standing you can't quite see. As you get closer, you do see that it actually says Vernon's Academy. It's a tall and narrow building.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 stories high with an entry hall and offices.
Gentlemen, we have arrived at Vernon's Academy. Let's
Is it open?
the door, shall we?
It's 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so it's closed at this stage, I guess.
Well, let's bang the door a bit.
You know that Mr. Vernon lives there.
Yes.
So it's not like a modern day school. It's his home as well as the academy.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I'm banging the
Or
door.
perhaps we come back in the morning?
Damn it, man. No, we're here now.
So, banging on the door, and after a couple of minutes, you can hear some noise inside, and there's some footsteps, and the door opens, and there's a little face comes to the door. Yes, can I help you?
Master Vernon?
Oh, who's... come in. And she looks, the colour drains out of her face as you say that, and she opens the door, and she's clearly been crying.
Oh,
And she looks very, very upset.
My name is Ranomarame
this doesn't
Carleon.
bode well.
My father is a friend of Master Vernon's. He asked me to come see him.
Oh, you better come in. She introduces herself as Elspeth.
Elspeth.
And she says, please, I've just found this. Come with me. She takes you along the hallway, up some stairs to what you assume is Mr. Vernon's private quarters. And she turns a wooden door and she says, what you're about to witness is horrifying. I've seen it just before you came in. And she opens the door. And there is blood everywhere. Hanging from the ceiling upside down is the skinned body of a man. his entrails and skin lie on the floor. So right outside, there's a window that's open, and there's bloody footprints leading onto the roof.
I am blocking the doorway with my spear, like just across the door.
Yeah.
And say, don't enter. Stay here, and I'm going to go in and look. Because I have alchemy, I have medicus.
Yes.
And to see what I can see before anybody else sees the scene. Before anything is disturbed, try and take in everything.
No problem. Carl also has medicus, I believe.
I do.
You know his voice.
Carl is slightly shocked. I mean, he steps back.
And as I'm looking in, I asked, so when did you discover the body?
Right before you came, I was bringing Mr. Vernon up a cup of tea and opened the door and discovered.
How cold, touch it and see how cold it is. How long he's been dead. Assuming he's dead.
Less than an hour.
I say it's been less than an hour, but it's been at least like 30 minutes. We're not going to catch anybody who run after him. But it's been
unlikely. Unlikely. You don't know the area, so yeah, you would be disorientated quite quickly.
I'd like to look at the woman and see whether she has any signs of struggle, remnants of blood on her, things that would indicate that she was engaged in any kind of...
No. As you open the door, on the floor directly in front of the door to the side is a tray and some smashed cups, and a pool of tea that is still warm.
Okay.
So it does look as if her story kind of holds up, that she came to the door, discovered he was hanging upside down, dropped the tray, and went into a kind of shock.
Okay. So what can you tell me from the body?
Okay,
This
so you
is
have
not something you see every day.
make a cunning test.
Cunning.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
basic.
Yes, made it.
I made it as well.
Okay, it appears that he may have been strangled just before he was skinned. Although most of the entrails are there are some glands that are missing.
I point this out to Carl as we're looking at it.
Yeah. So, but both of you, whilst you may call them different things, the three glands that are missing are essentially the adrenal, thyroid, and pineal glands.
Adrenal, thyroid, and what? Sorry?
Pineal. Pineal. Pineal.
Pineal.
Pineal. Yes, pineal. Yeah.
Pineal.
Or penis, whichever.
I was wondering, its penile gland might be something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No. Pineal. Yes. That one. Pineal. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that is a quick deduction on our part.
Do
You seem to
they
know a lot about
signify-
bodies, Carl. I'm impressed.
do they signify anything to us? Like, have they been taken from a magic or
if you make a perception, strength, vigilance. If you mention this to Ran, if you make a vigilance check,
Fails it miserably.
no, doesn't. It seems odd that those particular glands were taken, but nothing spectacular. So the neck has been strangled. Those elements removed.
Well, I do have the lore master ability.
Okay, make a lore master roll.
It's a cunning test to learn the properties of something.
Yeah.
Ah, and I get it.
Okay. One of the things that you did study back in your hometown, amongst other things, was a number of magical rituals. Just reading in passing, and one of the things that you recall is that there was this sorcery ritual called blood shrouding, in which a mystic can flay a body and assume its form for a day.
Mm.
Very much like the shadow swap that
We know nothing about.
that you don't know anything about. But yes, it's
Although my version sounds a little simpler.
yeah, yes. If the other thing you notice, if you make a vigilance check as well, Carl, Ran,
Critical success.
excellent.
Failure.
On the floor, where the pile of skin is, there is brown hair. But as you look up, the other side of Vernon's desk is a portrait of him with black hair. Aran, you recall the last time you saw Master Vernon many years ago, he did have black hair.
Okay, I think this seems to have been a strange black magical blood ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And since the brown hair is there, when Master Vernon had black hair,
The skin must have the properties of...
yeah, the villain, the perpetrator, must now have taken on Master Vernon's identity, perhaps?
Is there skin here?
Yes, there's flailed skin. The skin's been removed. It's on the floor with brown hair. Because you got a critical success. The other thing you notice, glancing at the brown hair, is one of the ears, and it's pointed.
An elf. The perpetrator is an elf.
I find
Or a
it hard
fairy
to
of
believe
sorts.
that elves would lower themselves to such abominations.
Corrupted elves, perhaps.
Bog is puzzled. You're pointing out an elf. The elf got flayed?
No. See, the ritual, as I understand it, as told by Rand, the ritual replaces
Right.
semblance of the skin back and forth.
Okay, so so this is the... And is it
We're
really
looking at
badly
the
flayed?
perpetrator.
You couldn't look at the face. You couldn't get any appearance out of the pile of skin, could you?
Scars and such, perhaps?
No.
What the person looked like.
But if this perpetrator has been doing this for some time, then surely the skin he leaves behind might not be his original or normal look. It might simply be that which he took from his previous victim.
Well, we don't know they've been doing it for some time, do we?
I don't know how that works.
The witch hunters were talking about a flare that had been flaying around the town. But we do know that the perpetrator now looks like Master Vernon, and we have a portrait of Master Vernon right there. So what we need to do is find someone who looks like that portrait.
Look around. There isn't like a mini portrait anyway that we could take with us.
You could take Master Vernon's portrait and fold it so
Yeah,
you've
just
got
roll
a
it up.
small. But as you're looking around on the desk, there appears to be some sheets of paper.
Look at who can read.
I can read.
Okay.
I can probably read.
I suspect I can't read.
Okay. You see this. A blood-stained parchment.
Dear Master Knight?
Night Pitch. The mayor of Thistlehold
Yes, I know
is for Night Pitch.
See eye to eye, but know that the skull of the king, is that a king? Does it say king there?
Where's Zoom?
To you, sort
Is there any help?
not really. It was a bit, but sources have something power of corruption. You appear to have.
Bog, you have alchemy.
Yes,
I have alchemy as well.
Okay, anyone with alchemy, make a cunning check.
Yes.
Well, in your vast experience of blood covering letters,
Let's just leave it at blood covering things.
yes, one of the ways to wash blood off of items is to use vinegar.
I turn to the young lady and say, "Do you have any vinegar, Beth?
Esbeth.
Elizabeth,
Vinegar, sir?
vinegar."
She's in a kind of daze because of what's going on, but she's gone into like automatic response mode. Vinegar, I can get you some vinegar, sir. That's no problem. So she's gone into her normal servant kind of mode. I'll get you some vinegar, sir, and she runs off.
Thank you.
About 5 minutes later, less than that, she comes back with.
Explain what I want the vinegar for to the guys before they do anything else with the trying to clean the letter. I say
Right,
vinegar should be
Okay.
and then clean the letter.
Okay, so after a few minutes, she comes back with the vinegar, and she has this. And thump, it's clean. Oh, why is it flashing? That shouldn't be flashing. That's because the mouse.
I know that we seldom see eye to eye, but let me once again try to explain.
Explain why I believe that Gorak's failed expedition is connected to the current killings performed by the so-called Flayer. I know that Gorak sought you out and that the skull of the king was shown to you. Numerous sources have told me as much, and I realize that a possible link between the murders and the skull is politically delicate. The king's skull infects all those who touch it. It infects with the power of corruption. You appear to have escaped its destructive powers. May you never held it, which, if so, was wise. My elven friends have told me that their soothsayers dreamed of a dead king at the time when Gorak was parading around the town with his cranium, and they have returned to me saying that they are still dreaming. They're still dreaming, meaning that the corrupting powers of the skull are still active here in Thistlehold. Precisely how the atrocities and the killings are connected to this, I cannot claim to know, but from a reliable source I have heard that the art of flaying is an ancient and baneful one, born of darkness. Nevermore the dark, Master Vernon.
Interesting that this letter is here, so it was never sent, one would assume.
Yes.
Well, we should certainly take it with us.
Okay.
Well, now, maybe we should see what we can see, make ourselves scarce, and then have...
Well, hang on. Didn't we see bloody footprints leading out? Well, why don't we follow them?
We should certainly investigate.
And
We
then
should certainly investigate.
Elizabeth.
I mean, you're a goblin. You can get out there and run across the roof.
Yes, I can.
Racist.
That's what you people do, isn't it?
Well, yes, it's one of the many things we do.
Okay, so from the trail, it goes out of the window along the roof. You need to make a vigilance test.
No problem.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Damage on the windowsill.
Carl made it as well.
Excellent. There's no damage on the window or the windowsill. It appears that whoever came in through and out the window was let in.
Okay.
Was let in.
Or
One
the
of
window
his
was...
elven friends, perhaps.
Well, yes, because... Well, yeah.
He thought it. He thought it was one of the
As you
elves.
say, the elven friends, Carl, you got an extreme success when you're searching. You recall that there was a ring on Vernon's finger, or the body.
The flayed body, or the...
So it's on the floor in the blood. There is a ring. So you have the flayed body hanging out, the skin in a pile, and you got an extreme success. So you found a ring in the blood, but you didn't register immediately because you were looking at the ears.
Well, Carl will examine it.
Okay. The ring itself is a rusty iron ring. It's bloody. inside there is a word which has been inscribed. If you have Lawmaster, you can attempt to read the word.
I will.
Indeed, I do have no master.
Yes.
And yes.
It says, nevermore. You recall, or you immediately it flashes up that this is a ring of the Iron Pact, which is a long dead alliance between the Elder Folk and an unknown number of human princes. And you recall that the letter Master Vernon was going to send to Master Nightpitch ended with the phrase "Nevermore the dark."
So these guys are
Master
members
Vernon
of the
was
Iron.
involved with the Iron Pact.
Yeah.
And that's how he had elven friends. That's a strange and rare thing for a human.
Yes.
In this day and age.
It is. And you've heard, because you're a Lawmaster, you know something a bit about the Iron Pact. And that appears to be some kind of unwritten it's a pact between the elves and some humans to stop
the humans entering the woods.
Yeah, and it's just to stop there being conflict and war between the two.
Well, can we follow the blood trail and see if we can catch up with this
well, even
creature?
that, I've been looking at the blood trail, see how far we can look.
So, Bog, you can follow the rooftop blood trail. Let me get the map up to show you. Where's the map trail? Oh, no, wrong one. That one. So, follow the blood trail, and it heads across town, heading towards Toad Square, or heading in the direction of Toad Square. But after several houses around this area, around number 3, you kind of lose the trail as the blood kind of wears off, but it's definitely heading towards Toad Square.
Which is 37.
Yes. So you are just above 39, and it's heading towards 37 in that general direction.
Okay, I'll come back to inform the others, and then suggest maybe it's time to Beth inform the watch.
So whilst Bog is running off with on the rooftops, is there anything Carl and Rand would like to do?
Well, we'd like to contact the gentleman that this letter was addressed to.
Okay.
Because if Iron folk are being attacked and eradicated, there may be a reason.
Well, that's Lord Nightpitch. We should go. He's the mayor of the town, right?
Yeah.
We
should go see him tomorrow rather than tonight. But we should try and. I think we should pursue the villain and try and catch him.
I must say I'm very concerned about this mayor of the town, since he was assuming he wasn't corrupted before he got skinned.
By the way, the Black Cloaks are corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
That means that whatever this item is roaming around.
Well, there's lots of things that can corrupt them around here.
Yes, lots of things. As you're discussing this between the two of you, Esbeth is standing in the doorway, and you hear a couple of coughs and kind of pass it off as nothing, and then she coughs a bit louder, as if she's trying to get your attention politely.
Oh yes, madam.
What did you say your name was again?
My name is Ranomarame Carleon, the son of Ricardo Mark Carleon, an old friend of Master Vernon's.
Her face lights up. Oh, I have something for you. She darts off, comes back, and she hands you a letter.
Mm-hmm. Dear friends, okay, if you're reading this, I am dead. True enough.
This is written to you, so this is because this is a generic text. So, and ignore the bit where it says you don't know who I am. You do.
Okay, just as I don't know you in the common meaning of the word, but I do know something about your faith, since it is intertwined with my own, and with the bloody tracks left by the flare through your beautiful town. In short, you have appeared in my dream sights, visions I have evoked with the help of rituals. Rituals, indeed, as that of my effort to solve the riddle of the murderous flare. Some months ago, an expedition returned to the Thistlehold. Aside from gold, it's so good that he has got such great exposition, isn't it? Aside from gold, they brought back the skull of a Symbaroum king, and the expedition leader paraded this distasteful trophy around many of the town's inns and taverns. Unfortunately, the treasure hunters also brought with them a horrific sickness which claimed their lives one after the other. Some just disappeared, others were hunted down by agents of the Iron Pact. Another few turned into abominations and were killed by watchmen or brave residents. Gorak, the leader, went into hiding and took the skull with him. People's memories are short in the hold, and since this new wave of murders began, carried out by the abominable flare, no one's linked the bloody deeds to Gorak's expedition. However, my vision revealed some kind of connection. After many frustrating dream sights, one thing is clear to me. There is some kind of association between the expedition and the skinning of our townsfolk.
Page 2.
Alas, I also realized that my own death was a crucial step towards solving the riddle. And so, my unfamiliar friends by faith are you. The hows and the whys are unintelligible to me, but hopefully you will be able to figure them out. If ever we meet in the world beyond, you'll have to tell me everything about the events to come.
Till then?
Till then, I can but ask you to forgive me for placing this burden on your souls. What's ahead of you I would not wish for my greatest enemy, let alone persons who likely would have been my friends had I but lived to greet them. Master Burnham.
Well, Carl will, as he's reading this, Carl would like to just sort of reach out and check whether the occupant of this body is still here.
Okay. Make a resolute.
Carl, you're a very strange man indeed.
Resolute roll.
Just give me a moment.
No problem. Elsbeth says, Mr. Vernon, what did she say? She says, Mr. Vernon gave this to me about a week ago. On the day of the second flare killings. He left no specific instructions, only that it should be given to the first person who comes to visit me after my death. I didn't think much of it because she says because he's could be quite an eccentric chap. Our Mr. Vernon, Master Vernon.
I succeeded.
Excellent. What was she doing?
What I'm doing?
Yeah, I forgot what you were.
Oh, I'm a medium.
Oh, medium. Medium. Right.
So basically, I sense and talk to spirits, ghosts.
Necromancy, medium. What information would you like to attempt? What questions would you like to ask?
Name of the person he let in.
The elf, Tara Kell.
Tara Kell. 2 L's?
No one else.
No, 2 L's.
Sorry, 1 L.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sorry.
Spirit. I turn around and tell the rest of the
I'll
group.
give you 3 questions you can answer.
That was the first one. The second one was the spelling, and the third one...
No, the spelling's fine. That's
okay.
That would be really cruel. I suspect. To ask them, yeah, could you spell that? That's another question. No, we're not doing that. So the other question.
I turn around to the folks and tell them, give me some questions that you would like to be answered. The most important ones that you think.
Bog still isn't there, is he? I'm still out and about.
No, you will come back as the questions are finished.
Cool. I'm actually going to pop away just a minute, just make sure the kids are down and things.
No problem.
Okay. What could we ask? Well, we could ask.
Joys of.
Wow. I mean, we already know that the skull that they brought back is somehow. Well, is it the effects of the skull? Is it the possessor of the skull who's doing the flaying? Are they those two things connected? We assume so, right? We can find that out.
So one of the things you remember, was that the 3 glands that were taken was
adrenal, pineal, and
that has is linked to a sorcery ritual called blood shrouding.
Right.
While you're pontificating, I will read out blood shrouding in more detail.
Shrouding. Well, can we find out who the original person is that's doing this flaying? Is it a person? Is it a demon? Because we know that they're wearing the skin of Master Vernon now.
Is there a way to...
or what color the shadow is?
He studied blood shrouding. Let's try something technically...
Because maybe if we know what color the shadow is, we could understand who they are. Because both I and the goblin are capable of seeing shadows.
Is there a way to locate or track or search for somebody under the influence of blood shrouding?
You would need to go and speak to the Ordo Magica.
Well, couldn't we just medium it from Master Burnham? That's what we're discussing at the moment.
So you can ask him specific, detailed questions, things like who killed you, who came through the window, that kind of thing. That's a more detailed question that you would know that if you went to the effectively the Ordo Magica, which is the wizard's tower, they would be easy for them to tell you whether that's possible.
In that case, we shall ask something else of this gentleman.
Well, can we ask what the color of the shadow is of the killer?
The color of the shadow of the killer.
Because that way we'll be able to recognize him.
Okay, so...
Because the killer can change his face, but he can't change his shadow.
That's a good idea.
Black with scattered lights like cold and clear night sky.
Black with colored lights like cold and clear night sky.
Effectively corruption of 3.
Interesting. Okay.
3 out of 5 or 10?
5, I think corruption goes up to.
So it's still somebody who's in control of the consciousness.
Yep.
Third question.
Yep.
Well, do you want to ask who the killer is?
Well, I have the name Tarakel.
No, you asked.
That's the name of the elf that came through the window, or he may have thought it was that. But is that the real person who killed him?
Was Tarakel the one that killed you?
So you're asking,
what's the real name?
What's the name of the person that actually killed him?
Yes.
So you've had that name. So the spirit told you that the person that killed Master Vernon was the elf Tarakel. Now you know the skin's on the floor, so maybe you need to reword the question a tiny bit.
Oh, okay. Who was underneath the skin of Tarakel?
That's a good question.
The changeling Alahara.
The changeling Alahara. Plot gets deeper.
Thank you for the 3 questions. Rest in peace, Master.
Thank you.
Okay.
By the way, is my soul with my body or no? It should be, kind of.
I'm going to say yes. It doesn't actually specify that per se.
I thought that
It might bloodbond.
I thought that the undead didn't have shadows. Is that right? Or do they? Just corrupted shadows.
Yeah, we have corrupted shadows, right? So that means that we have some kind of a shadow.
Yeah. Yes. Thoroughly corrupt. But if you wanted to have a look at some Carl's shadow.
I've got enough corruption at the moment. I'm not going to do anything that unless I really need.
I'll leave that for today. I'm just trying to find the blood thingy. Maybe. Okay, I can't find blood ritual anywhere.
No, don't worry about it.
So,
are we okay? So I suggest we try and track down this killer while the trail is still fresh.
Let's give it a try.
Was still warm when we arrived.
Let's give that a try, but failing that, I think we should try not to involve the Black Cloaks.
I pop back in the window at this stage, I assume.
Boo!
Well, we solved the mystery. We're on our way home.
Fantastic. Just in case you're wondering, the footsteps were heading towards the square of the Toad before they died out. Not many goblins out this time of night. They all seem to have been heading home.
Elspeth says, if there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know. I've got a few things to do. If there's anything else you want.
Well, you better call the town watch and tell them that Master Vernon has been murdered by the Flayer.
Master Vernon didn't leave anything to us with our investigation, did he? Besides the letter.
No.
Right.
She says, no, just the letter.
That's fine. That's okay.
Maybe we should go directly to the man this letter addresses instead of the watch.
Well, we'd probably better doing that in the morning.
The mayor.
The mayor, yes.
It's getting later.
Yeah. Just keeping an eye out as we're going through the house of anything else particularly small and valuable and
don't you think he wants to know, though?
Sorry, say that again.
I guess he would want to know, even if it was 8 p.m.
Well, the thing is, I'm not so sure he hasn't been corrupted.
Right.
You may not want to play your hand
about this.
aggressively.
Okay, let us try to locate this scoundrel.
What did you learn? I don't know you learned anything. Sorry, never mind.
We've learned many things beyond the ken of a simple goblin such as yourself.
Oh, fair enough. As he walks down the stairs, I put my spear between his feet.
We share... we share our knowledge, though.
So whilst you were away, Carl did something and managed to get 3 questions from the spirit of Master Vernon. And they were, who killed Master Vernon? And that was the elf Tarakel. Then the other question, what was the other question?
Really? Yes. Really? Yes. Damn.
The second question. What was the second question? I don't know what the third question was. I've forgotten what the second question
Well, the
was.
shadow.
The shadow. So the other question was the shadow of the killer, and that was black with scattered lights like a cold, clear night sky. And the last question was in essence, who wore the elf skin, and that was the changeling Alahara.
Okay.
That were the questions you could get from.
Okay.
So now we're looking for Alhara, starting with his tracks, then trying to locate in any other way possible.
But he would look like Vernon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Using this blood ritual.
Yep. Okay, let's go.
All right. So we will go to the street and walk briskly in the direction of where the tracks were leading.
Okay, the tracks the tracks led to Toad Hall. Toad Hall? Toad Square.
Okay. So we go to Toad Square and start looking around for someone who looks like Master Vernon, like the portrait we have. Because we've taken the portrait with us. Rolled
Yes.
up.
Well, no, and you have the small portrait.
Mm-hmm.
You make a vigilance check.
Phil.
Let's make a vigilance check. Failed.
You spend a good half an hour to an hour wandering around Toad Hall Square, and you find you don't really expect to see Master Vernon climbing around the rooftops, but you spend time speaking to some of the people that are there to see if anyone saw anything suspicious. And whilst you start getting stories of flying pigs and blight covered liege trolls and rage trolls and who knows what strange occurrences, there's nothing that automatically jumps out at being somebody jumping over the roof. Now, maybe you're asking the wrong questions, but you found your villager vigilance check, so don't know. You do hear the sounds of an old woman screaming from the nearby watchtower.
Oh.
I think we can. Yeah, we don't want to go there. So we can't see Master Vernon anywhere. Or someone that looks like him.
No.
I know.
How about if we show the picture to a bunch of bystanders? Say, has anyone seen this man? We're looking for this man.
No. You are. There is a urchin boy who looks at it, and he's looking at the painter, and he's rubbing his hand. You can't see with my hand. He's rubbing his hand like this, going, I might.
There's an Orteg for anyone who can recognize him.
Oh, he takes the Orteg and says, I think I saw a man looking like that running into the back of the alleyway. He points to a vague alleyway further to your right. He says, I'm sure not a few hours ago there was a man matching that description.
Well, I said, well, why don't you show us exactly, and there'll be another one in it for you.
Another Orteg. Takes a deep breath. He goes, okay. And he starts walking towards the alleyway.
Okay.
As you get closer to the alleyway, you hear the scream of a woman.
Well, now we have to run.
Go investigate.
I suppose a real man has to do it.
In
the closest thing we've got to a man in this team. I'm going to draw my sword while he's doing that.
Where was that scream coming from?
There's a stable at the back of what looks like a rather run-down inn. That there's a scream coming from the other side of the wall. There is a crude double doorway in which the horses would go through, but the scream comes from the other side of that stable.
So inside the stable, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
And is that the direction we were heading in?
Yes.
Okay, run over there.
In the darkness, the door, there's some illumination behind the door, but you would need to open it to have a look in. But there's a double wooden doors.
Open it carefully and to look in.
Door creaks open, and you can see a stable. And standing in front of you is where's she gone? There is a woman who is screaming at the top of her voice.
Look where she's looking.
You look into the stable, and into the dark, as the light flickers around, you see the body of somebody hanging upside down.
Oh, another one.
Excuse me, Mrs.
And the woman turns to you, and you need to make a magicus. You got magicus. Make a persuasion roll as you attempt to talk her down using your.
No. It's 20 bad.
20. Oh, 20 is very bad. Yes, hitting her on the top of the head with your spear is the first thing that came to your mind to calm her down. Calm down, woman. Donk. So she's still screaming. Goblin!
I'm making a persuasion roll. I say, it's okay. It's okay. We're here. You're going to be fine now. It's all under control.
Okay, make a persuasion roll.
I made it very easily.
Okay. It's actually not a woman. It's a man who appears to be screaming. No, sorry, it is a woman. I missed that. It is a woman.
It's hard to tell these days.
Yeah, it is hard to tell. It is. She's wearing the uniform of the town's watch, the same as the chaps that you.
She's a watch lady.
A watch lady. Yes.
Things are different in the big city, aren't they?
Yes.
I'm going to go examine the body. I say, you take care of her, and I go to examine the body.
As you all get into the stables, a couple of more watchmen come running up the alleyway behind you. You will get to see the body before the watchman.
Yeah, except for hair color here.
The body on the floor, the skin on the floor. Make a vigilance check at -5.
Fuck. Excuse my language. 20.
20 with -5. No, -5.
No,
so what's your
bog?
Yeah, even that you 50. No, there is skin on the floor. Okay, you made it. The body on the floor is Master Vernon's skin.
It's just too messed up to tell.
Yeah,
it's impossible to tell.
No, I can tell. That's definitely Master Vernon. That's the guy we're looking for. He's already switched bodies.
What's going on here? You hear? What's going on here? What's going on? Town's watch. What's going on here?
Sort of sidelink the shadows a little here.
Another victim of the flare, it seems, sir.
We just came to help your fellow officer.
You recognise one of the chaps that's come in as the quieter watchman that took hold of the woman. He says, "Oh, you again? What's going on here? Another victim of the flare?"
Yeah, we heard your officer here, this lady officer, watched one lady screaming, and so we came to help her. I'm sure she, isn't that right?
And she's in a state, but she shooks her head.
Yeah.
So she's quite shaken, but she's nodding her head in agreement.
Yeah. So we think you have the flares struck again, I'm afraid.
So make a vigilant check as you look around the stable.
Looking at the
-5.
-5. Oh, we get that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Looking at the boots the guy is hanging up. Are they watchman boots or anything?
No.
I
Stable boy
fail.
boots.
Okay. Very good.
Oh, so the guy that's hanging up, he hasn't got any clothes on. It's just all muscle. His skin has been peeled off,
Okay,
and the
so-
skin is on the floor, almost if it's been removed. So the boots are on the floor. So that you notice that there appears to be some kind of fight in the stable, and there's a large pool of blood. If only you knew the ritual summoning. The other thing is you notice is a trail of blood leads from the scene north towards the palisade.
I'm going to go quietly follow that.
Okay. So you made your vigilance check.
Well, I'll try now. Yes, I do make it this time.
Okay. And you wander off following this blood trail. The two watchmen said, "Oh, I think we'd better get the corpse examiner in." The blood trail heads towards some warehouses.
Okay, well, I'm going to say, well, me and my companion here, well, I don't think you'll need us anymore. I'm sure you officers of the law are quite capable of dealing with this by yourselves, so we'll be bidding you good night, and we'll briskly walk off in search of Bog.
Okay. Bog followed the blood trail. As you're getting closer towards the warehouse and the blood trail, you can see.
I'll follow as well.
Okay, you can see 4 black cloaked men coming towards you.
I slip into the shadows.
Make a
I don't really have any.
Yeah, be discreet.
discreet. That's it. I was going to say disappear roll, but discreet roll.
Yeah. How can I be so small and so undiscreet?
It's that bloody big spear with the
Because
glow sticks on the top.
And you smell.
I
I'd
fail.
like to get out of sight as well.
Okay, so the goblin
I'm just
fails.
moving aside to let them pass. Then
And they walk towards you,
I
and
succeed,
in
I
a
think.
semicircle. Carl, so you pass. Carl disappears into the shadows.
Can I pull him with me or no?
No, he
the
failed
team-
his. So he's rattling. His pouch is rattling. He's making a lot of noise. The guys walk towards the goblin and, in a semicircle, start to surround him. They look down and say, "You,
yeah,
what are you doing?
walking.
Walking? Are you that goblin?"
No, I'm an ogre.
Make a
What do you think?
persuade roll.
Do we recognize these guys as the guys from the witch hunters from before?
Yes,
Yes.
I rolled a 3 out of 6.
And the one guy shuts up and starts to shake his head. For a moment, he almost believes you. And another chap starts talking. And you recognised him as being one of as the man that was speaking to you earlier on in the evening.
Yeah.
He says, "You're that goblin. You're that goblin
I'm a goblin.
who protected that witch."
We weren't protecting any witch. Might have been stopping a little girl being attacked by bullies.
Oh,
She says, "Balmello we want to hear you. We'll be wanting to hear about you." He turns
I'm gone.
and shouts Balmello. I can't say it, but Balmello, quite loudly.
Yeah, as I said, I'm legging it.
You're gonna turn and run.
Yeah, I said that. As soon as you said Balmela will want to see you, I said I run.
You run. Okay. Make a quick roll.
Isn't bad.
11.
Yeah, I make it exactly.
Wait a minute, because
damn.
these guys. There we go. Quick. What are they? Quick 10. No. Okay. So you need to get under your quick to run.
Yeah.
Under my quick or my quick are equal?
Quick or under? Equal or under? Sorry.
I got my quick. I got 11.
You got 11. So you start pelting it down the alleyway. back towards the stables.
Back towards the safety of the City Watch.
Carl,
Yes.
you are standing in the shadows as you see Bog run past you. The minute this guy says Balmero.
Well,
What
I'll
are
wait
you
until
going to
they
do?
run past me, and
Two of them run past, and one of them says, "He's a goblin. I thought he was an ogre." Slightly confused moment, not a bright spark, as you see a slightly taller chap join these two. Your guess is it's Balmello.
Hmm.
Ran. Where was you? You were still at the stables, or was you?
I was coming up from behind when all this kicked off.
Some slight distance away. You can see the goblin charging towards you, full pelt.
I run past him. And go, run!
I don't have a lot of I'm not exactly Mr. Discreet. I'm just going to go, okay, and I'm going to start running with him back towards the Time Watch.
Bog is faster than you.
He is.
He's faster than you. What's your plan, Bog? I know you're going to run. Do you have an idea of where you're going to run to?
I was more concentrating on away from the big four big guys who wanted to beat up on the 3'4" goblin.
Okay. Ran,
I had the away bit sorted out. The two, it's more a case of probably get towards the guards and sort of just sidle into the shadows around there. So,
okay.
There's some authority about.
You can successfully run past Ran into the stables, and you are in the same proximity of the three watchmen that are in there. Ran, you need to make if you're going to run, you need to make a quick roll at under 8. Under 8.
Yep.
You charge back to the alleyway. And eventually, these guys will come into the alleyway, into the stables. Now, Carl, whilst that's charging off, what are you going to do?
I'm going to wait until these gentlemen pass me, because I have a certain warehouse in mind.
Yep. So the larger chap, they refer to as Balmero. He starts in a deep voice bellowing orders. Find me that goblin, and find me the other two and that witch. We must find it before it kills anyone else. Ran. No, Carl. They begin to move away and start walking down towards the stables. You can get past them after a couple of minutes. Ran and Bog in the stables. The two black coats walk in and say,
I was planning to, when I got in here, just to sort of meld into the shadows here, not being very obvious.
Have another discreet roll. The town's watch are quite occupied with the crime scene.
I got a 5, and my discreet is 5. So
excellent. You disappear into you disappear into the shadows quite easily. Ran, as you run in, you see Bog hiding under a table. Nobody's noted him. He's hiding on the table. What do you do?
What do? Is the watchman lady still there?
She's kind of a tiny bit, and the other two watchmen are. She's sitting down, shaking a bit. The other two watchmen are dealing with the crime scene, effectively trying to look at it and fathom out what to do.
So I'm going to go to the watch lady and say, I just wanted to check. Are you still okay? Is there anything I can get you? Perhaps you'll need a stiff drink or something.
Cup of tea? Yeah, sherry would be nice.
A sherry. Well, yes.
Or the equivalent drink. I'd like a troll's armpit, if that's okay. That'd be a pint of troll's armpit.
A pint of troll's armpit.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to be a local microbrew, but I'm sure I can.
It's craft beer.
There's a pub next door to the stable, right?
Yes, it's proper travelling inn. So there's the inn tavern or whatever, and the stables.
So just you sit there, take it easy. I'll be back with your troll's armpit in just a moment.
So there's a door from the stables into the bar.
Right.
As you enter the bar, the two black coats walk into the stables, and you can hear them shouting, "In the name of Pal Mellow, where's the goblin and the man?" I say, what's going on here? As you hear the only Bog can hear this. As you hear the watchman come out from the death scene. What's going on here? Who's shouting? Oh, witch hunters. What can I do for you? She says, we've been chasing a goblin and a human. Oh yes, they were here a few moments ago, and they had the other chap with them. What did you want them for? We have our own. We believe they are harbouring a witch. He says, "Oh no, that's we captured her. They brought her to the watch. We have the old the witch in the tower. She's being he smiles. He's being interrogated. Yes, thoroughly corrupt shadow. Thoroughly corrupt. They were very good citizens for that." She says, well, we've got a crime scene here. We could do with you stepping back. We have things to do. This is quite a horrible scene. You don't want to be involved in this. And the black coat says, a crime scene? Another flare victim? Oh, yes, if you say so. And this continues on for a few more moments. So by the time, Ran, you return from the bar with a pint of Troll's Armpit, Carl, Balmello and the other two black coats have walked up the alleyway towards the stables. What are you going to do? You were...
So are we waiting for Carl?
Carl, look, yes, Carl.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I know, so they'd gone past you. They didn't see you. You were... They'd now gone past you. You're still in the shadows.
Right. This warehouse.
Yes.
I'd like to, acting like a vagabond would, just sort of linger towards it.
Okay.
Or dally towards it.
You find that the blood footprints peter off, but there are small traces going into one of the warehouses. Under the door, you can see the blood going in.
I sort of just pretend that I'm vagabonding around as I dally off back towards the crime scene, trying to find the folks. And on the way, if I can make it a route towards just past some sort of an establishment which would have cloaks in it.
It's 8-9 o'clock at night, so you probably need to break in. The other possibility is if you make a vigilance roll.
I'm just looking for an inn where somebody would take off their cloak, so that I can sort of make myself look a little different.
I was going to say, was at the back of some of these houses there are clothes hanging up on lines.
Oh, sweet. I shall roll vigilance.
If you get a vigilance at -3, which you'll roll.
I hate that -3. I hate it.
So you add 3 to your roll. Plus.
Oh, plus.
Sorry,
oh,
plus.
there. Right.
No, it is -3. You roll under, not over, so it's under. So the -3 is correct. So whatever you roll when you dice, take away 3 from it, and then
I rolled 4, so
4.
You are going to pay.
Hanging up in the in one of the nearby backyards, there is a washing line with a series of coats on.
I should just grab one of those that looks big enough to cover my frame.
Okay, you find a suitable coat that you can throw over yourselves. It's a bit lumpy, slightly damp, but it's functional.
And backwards I go, limping now, just sort of add to the appearance.
Okay. You then see Balmello and the remaining, what are they called? The remaining black coats are now all at the stables, chatting, having a conversation with the town watchman.
I'm looking for my men.
Okay, make a vigilance check, because you might be able to see under their feet to Bog, who's under the table close to them.
What is my frickin' vigilance?
Now you have to, your vigilance minus what's Bog's 5, so you add 5 to your
Roll.
You minus 5 to your roll,
Yeah,
because Bog is not that well hidden.
That's a failure. Oh, he's not
Failure,
that
no.
well hidden? Or
No,
he's
his discreet is 5, and your vigilance is 12. So you have to roll under 17.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd roll that. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, as you look under the legs of the Black Watch, the Black Cloaks, you see Bog hiding under one of the tables.
Right.
As you glance up, you can then see Ran walking back into the stables.
I will try to stop him. He's walking back into the stables.
Yeah, you can't actually stop him. He's the other side of through the gateway. You can see Ran through the crude window of the bar. He's walking back holding a pint.
Okay.
So Ran, as you're walking back, you can see through the window, and you can see in the dim light 5 black-coated chaps. If you make a vigilance roll, you might be able to see Carl beyond him.
Nope.
No.
I just see the 5 black cloaks. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to just hover outside the door. I'm not going to go back in with a drink quite yet.
Okay. And they are discussing.
Towards him.
Sorry.
I'm going to try to circle around towards him, or actually, I'll just go straight through. And what I'll do is, if there's a group of people or whatever sitting anywhere at an inn or outside of an inn or whatever it is.
So you think you can go you can walk past the black coats quietly, go into the front of the inn, through, and try and catch Ran.
I'll go around. But what I'm saying is, I'd like to go through a crowd and alert them to the fact that there's another victim of the flare.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
And create chaos.
Okay. That's very simple to do. Whilst you're doing that, Ran, what are you going to do? Well, Bog, you're stuck under the table. You can see 5 black cloaks hanging around, and you can hear the conversation. They're kind of discussing the flare and the fact that there's another victim, and if they knew anything about the other victim. And the black cloaks appear to be pressing the town's watch for information about both yourselves and the Flayer's new victim.
No, I can't get out of here without being spotted.
No, your discreet is piss poor.
Give it a second.
It's fine.
I'm going to wait here and listen.
Okay, the conversation continues for a little while, and then you start hearing the sound of people moving up the alleyway. There appears to be like a crowd of people. Carl, you've persuaded. Roll 1d20 and tell me what you get. Oh, that's how it's persuaded to come up the alleyway.
20.
20. Excellent. There is a big crowd of people, and you hear, "Oh, it's an abomination! Was the flare killed again?" And there's lots of. I
thought I failed.
Oh, no! That was just how many people. Because it's quite a simple thing to tell people, "Oh, the flare's new victims in there." It's just how many people are going to prepare to go up there, and you managed to get 20. That's fine. So there's a big crowd of people. The other side of the gates.
I'm just alerting them to the crime scene, not to the warehouse. I just want to create chaos.
Yeah. So they're at the gates of the stable, and they're kind of jostling for position. Oh, is it another flare, sir? Can I help you? Make a. You know, I'm going to do that. Oh, lucky. Then, so after you've done that, Carl, what are you going to do? And Rand, what are you going to do? Bob's kind of stuck under the table for the moment.
I would like to contact Rand and make sure that I tell him where Carl is as well, so that we are waiting for an opportune moment to whisk him out.
Okay, so you make your way into the bar. Rand, coming behind you, Carl is walking inside the bar.
All right.
Hello, sir.
Oh, it's good to see you again, my friend.
Is this seat taken?
Please sit, by all means. We have a little bit of a situation on our hands because the watch are after us, as you know. Bog is stuck under the table in the stable.
Yes.
And if we go in there, they're going to recognize it. There's going to be a problem.
And there's a
figure some way to. We need to clear the stables.
There's a particular warehouse that we'd like to visit before the night ends.
Oh, I know what.
I've created a crowd. Now, if we could just get those.
Why don't we set the stable on fire?
That would certainly draw their attentions away and towards some water.
There are inside the stable. There's a lot of hay and wood, so it's not inconceivable.
We can set the stable on fire, then everyone will rush out, and then Bog can rush out as well. Hopefully, he's pretty quick.
Yeah, you can see him under the table. He's not that discreet.
He's still giving me a thumbs up.
Yeah,
right. Let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
Okay. The hay and the main stable.
Burn the witch.
If you can imagine the back of the pub, there is a small seating area where Bog's hiding. Then there is an open area, and the stables and the hay sections are at the back. So anything you do, you'd have to ideally throw from the back door or further up, or you would need to go in next door or find a way round to drop fire over so they couldn't see you.
Well, I have a mystical ability of brimstone cascade.
You do. Yes, you do.
So does that actually? Do I actually throw that out of my hands, or does it? Do I make the fire appear from somewhere else? It doesn't say on the card. So look it up. See how exactly that works.
Yeah, brimstone cascade is a. I can't call. I don't think it's a kind of magic missile kind of thing, but it's a bit more.
Let's find out, shall we? Mystical abilities. Where are you? Mystical traditions, mystical powers. Flame wall, anathema. Brimstone cascade.
Unleash a rampaging spirit of fire and burn its enemies to cinders.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
I'm going to say it has to come out from your hands. So your best bet.
Yes.
If you stand at the door and fire it, it's going to be like an obvious.
Yeah, that's no good.
You could go higher up, fire it, and then they'd have to look up. Or
I don't want anything to be traced back to me.
Your best.
Or the other options we just like go around.
You go in the back and then kind of climb up and stick your fingers into the back of the.
That's what I was going to suggest.
You couldn't be seen then.
Well, if I was able to hide well enough. Okay, let me see. Well, I'll drop the beer, put down the beer, and go out the other way from the pub and try and get round the back.
You should, of course, tell me, hold my beer.
I got hold my beer. I got
hold my beer. Watch this. What could possibly go wrong?
Okay. Go out of the inn. Next door.
Okay.
I'm gonna say there is there is an alleyway that runs between the buildings. You have a bar, there's like an archway, and then there's another building, and the archway is like the splits the two properties in two. That runs down the side of the back of the the stables, and then goes to the left. But at that corner is the wooden stables. There's a slight peak on the wooden stables, so you wouldn't be seen standing at the back.
Okay.
Bog, you are still under. Yes, I'm going to say
unaware of anything that's happening. I'm just very proud of my ability to hide and overhear what's happening.
Yes, you can hear that. They're still rattling on about the
attitude of the watch towards the Black Cloaks.
They are unsure of them.
Not too differential.
Not really. The conversation is, no. There's a sort of cooperation, but a bit standoffish. There is a conversation about the amount of victims, and the Black Coats are saying 7 with this body, whereas the what they call the Knights are the Town Watch are saying 5 with this body. There appears to be a difference of 2 bodies. And there is not so much an argument, but a disagreement as to how many bodies there are, in fact, or how many victims there are.
Okay.
As that progresses, Ran, make a resolute versus, it's an inanimate object. You just need to make a successful resolution, and I will say it's at -5.
For the Brimstone Cascade?
Yeah.
I fire it regardless of what I roll. It just depends how much damage I do.
Yes. So
you're not aiming at people, hopefully.
No, you're not aiming at people. It's whether it comes out as a sparks or ignites the entire roof and has the potential to burn half the city down.
Well, according to this, if I make the roll, I do 1d12 damage, and if I fail the roll, I do 1d6 damage. So
so it's a raging inferno or
and I fail it.
You fail. Roll 1d6 and tell me what you get.
4.
4. Okay. How dry is the wood? Oh, it is bone dry. The roof, Bog, just goes up in a flame of yellow fire.
Okay.
There's a scream, and you hear the shout, "Fire!" And the crowd steps back, as does the Black Coats. You have got you're a discreet roll away from running into the pub.
Okay. Is that the closest way out of here that's not past the Black Cloak?
Yes. Okay. Carl, you can see obviously the fire of the stables go up. You can see Bog moving as if he's ready to come out, make a run for it.
Can I signal him to stay put, the little cunt?
I can't see him, I don't think.
Make a vigilance roll to see if you can see Carl in the doorway, in the window of the pub.
17.
17?
Nope.
No.
Vigilance is 10.
So you need to make a, quick or discreet? Let's go quick. They are quite distracted, and basic quick roll. 7. You charge into the pub, running into Carl, who's standing at the doorway. He was cold to the touch.
I put him in my pocket and run.
You run at the back, and the fire starts taking off.
This way, master.
Out the front, and Ran, what are you doing? What was your plan to after the fire? To Cole?
Is to go back the way I came and rendezvous with them in the pub, and then.
Okay, as you run around that corner,
the main. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, you run into them as they're running out of the front of the pub.
Okay.
We take a quick and discreet way away from all this mess and towards the stable.
Carl, you said something about a warehouse earlier.
A warehouse, yes. Followed the bloody footsteps I have. straight
Okay.
to a warehouse. Now, this creature, whatever it is, changeling, is tough enough to skin men alive or dead in a quite short time. So I presume that this thing will be quite of a challenge to tackle. But I do not find it appealing to do so with these black cloaks.
Well, can we get to the warehouse reasonably easily without getting tackled by other people? I assume they're all running around trying to deal with the blaze.
Yes, there is now the barn is on fire. The fire's raging
Oh, bloody hell.
because it's very dry, and there's straw. There's screaming, and there's people screaming for buckets. The bar appears to be alive with people running in. They're just trying to grab anything that they can put water in. Some people are quite too drunk and are actually throwing alcohol on. So while people are throwing water on, there are some people throwing alcohol. Carl, you still have
It's not
a flagon of Troll's armpit.
It's not a proper fantasy game until you've set something on fire.
No, that's the best plan.
We'll leave our flagons and steal away quickly.
You don't know enough of the area to. You've never been to this area before, so you know the way to the warehouse past the crowd of people. But the crowd of people in that alleyway are now rushing around, screaming and trying to put out the fire. So it's quite busy there. You would need to find another way round unless you want to try and go through that crowd of people.
We go around.
Okay. Do you have any, not so much tracking skills, but you really want some kind of knowing where you are? Sixth sense, Medicus. Sixth sense,
of course.
that could work. Doesn't the goblin or something? Medicus, which
I have it, and I managed it with 4 difference.
Okay, so using your sixth sense, you can roughly work out that 2 roads up on the left, carry down there for several hundred yards, turn left and then turn right, and you'll be in the back end of the alley, way past the stables, closer to the where you want to go.
Towards
the
that.
warehouse. Yes.
Towards the warehouse, yeah. And on the way, I explained to them that chances of us not running into something that would like to fight us are quite small.
Yes. So,
we're standing in front of a warehouse now.
after about 20 minutes of wandering around the alleyways, you do find yourself standing back closer to the warehouses that you saw earlier. The middle warehouse, which is slightly more run down, does still have the blood footprints going under the door.
Cool. Is the door... There's no light from the warehouse?
No.
Look around for back entrances or windows.
Can goblins see particularly well in the dark?
Did goblins see in the dark? I think
It doesn't say.
I think goblins can see in the dark. I'm not. I should double check that because you've got
Sixth sense does, or it's kind of.
Okay, so sixth sense allows you to see in the dark. Let me just double check because you also got the changelings. So certainly the undead, the undead guy. Yes, Carl can see in the dark. I'm pretty sure that's a gift.
It's
you
not.
Get anywhere.
It's not absolute. So in total darkness, I have to move with a quarter of my speed. But other than that, yeah.
Doesn't mention in changeling about seeing in the dark. Ow. Goblins and nightfall. I'm going to say that, for the sake of argument, that you have got only the changeling has got issues with the dark. The others, certainly in low light, you can see a lot better than the changeling.
Well,
so
it's
Ran,
not
you
like-
can't quite see well, but certainly the other two have got a better view.
It's not like we're going to be discreet anyway. So now let's see if there are back entrances to this facility.
There
Yes.
are, as you make your way around. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was going to say I suggested sneak around, but I'm really crap at sneaking.
So there is a gate, a main door to the warehouse. There's a series of 3 warehouses. Main door, main door, main door. No windows. You go around the back, and there appears to be a small window about 5 feet up on the back of each of the warehouses. So in this block of 3, there's 3 windows. 3 small windows.
Well, let's take a look in. See if we can see anything in there.
Let's take a
Okay.
peek.
You need to make a quick check to lift yourself up and have a look in.
I think the goblin would be doing this.
Or somebody could lift the goblin up, still make a check. Quick.
My exact quick.
Okay.
I rolled 11. Yeah.
The window is ajar.
Again. Okay. Well, look in anyway first.
You look in and you can see a series of boxes and the main gate. There's stacks of boxes.
Is it large enough for someone to get through?
Yes.
Is there any blood on the window?
Not that you can see. The window is ajar. You could climb through.
I look at this and I'm going through.
Wait, little creature.
Okay, I'm going through. If he's calling me little creature, I'm through.
Okay.
So
Shit.
putting my spear in first.
Okay. So you're going to jump in and jump down. Make a discreet roll. So you've made your quick. Make a discreet as you jump on the floor.
Dice minus what? I mean, I'm prepared and
Okay, let me think. How can we do that? So that would be his -1.
okay, I failed by 2 then.
Okay. As you jump land,
Mhm.
to your right, there's a human that has no skin, and he looks at you and goes, "Ugh," and raises his hands.
I just go, burglary gone wrong, and stab him with my spear.
You're going to. Okay. So as that happens, the other two, Ran and Carl, you can hear Bog shout, "Burglary gone wrong." So make a let's see, where's it gone? Where's that sheet gone? Here we go. So you go first. You've got a long weapon, so you get a free attack. So
What am
make
I
a accurate versus his defense. Where's his defense? His defense is.
Well, I have an accuracy of 15. I just rolled a 3.
His defense is 2. Oh yeah, so you hit. So your damage.
Now it says D8 here, but I think at novice level I should have a D10.
That's the weapon of the.
Yeah.
Oh, so yes, a spear. So yes, roll that. What's 4?
4. Speaking of 4.
4. So you hit him, and you see your spear go into his leather armor, but it doesn't appear to pierce the leather armor. Sorry. So no,
He's wearing armor
it's yeah.
in the spot.
His so his outside skin has gone a bit leathery, but his muscle, sorry, it's gone a bit leathery. You pierce it. You don't pierce it, but you do damage him. But it doesn't appear to actually damage him, and the creature. So you now get, that was your free attack. Surprise, quick, and he will attempt to grab you. No.
I'm trying to keep him off with my spear.
Okay. He misses completely as you. So he's swinging his arms around.
And I say, little help in here.
Another round before anyone can climb in. Who's going to go in to the window?
Well, who's quickest?
Skinless monstrosity.
I have 8.
I have 8.
So it's vigilance, then, isn't it?
I'm 10. What's your
12.
vigilance, Carl? Okay? You're up. Unless you want to let me go first, but you get the job. You get the choice.
Definitely let you go first. I am about as competent in combat as.
Oh dear.
As Bog.
Well, from my position at the window, do I have a line of sight towards this skinless wonder?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to brimstone cascade him again.
Okay.
Okay. A question. In this game, what is a scene? Is this like? This is a different scene
Yes.
than the previous things we did, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So any temporary corruption I ran up earlier does no longer counts. It's gone,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's very useful.
It's a bit vague, but yeah, that's we'd say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Then I'm definitely brimstone cascading him.
Okay.
What's his quick?
His quick is 10.
Okay, so it's a straight roll. Resolute test. Oh, yes, and he gets a 1.
Excellent.
So, yeah, is that a critical hit?
That is a critical hit.
What happens when you get a critical in Symbaroum?
Set the entire warehouse on fire.
Yeah, I can't remember, but we'll say max damage.
Max damage, that's 12.
12. That's going to ignore his leather effect armor, so that takes straight off his toughness. That goes down to that. And he, because it's done that, shall we? He ignites in a ball of fire and shambles towards the door on the opposite side. So he shambles towards number 1 because he's on fire. It's reached his pain threshold, but he's trying to run somewhere to put it out. But yes, he's effectively running away. He's not that quick. He's an undead zombie, but
okay.
Getting stabby into the back.
Okay. You can do another. Your long weapon has a free attack.
I rolled a 2.
2. You hit.
And D10 again.
D10. I'm going to ignore armor because it's on fire. The effectiveness of the armor.
9.
9. You punch your spear through him, and he collapses to the floor, not moving. So he was dead. He's even deader. But you now have on the floor of the warehouse a burning man. Carl. So whilst that's happening,
Now you can see.
Ran. So you're still at the window, so Carl can't actually see anything. So it's Rand's go. So you set him on fire. He walked off. Bog stabbed him in the back with his spear. Ran, you're still looking at the window. You're still looking through the window. What would you like to do?
There's not much point in setting him on fire again, I guess.
No, he's dead. The spear's sticking out of him, so he's dead, but he is on fire. And there is a slight chance that fire could ignite the rest of the rest of the warehouse. So he's to the effectively say 2 squares to the right of number 4. So
my plan was to throw my cloak on him.
So here, so that he's got to here, and he's on the floor burning.
Is there any water around? Is there a trough maybe around outside, like for horses or something?
Yes, right around the front. There is a water barrel coming from the guttering, but that's around the front of the building.
Okay. And there's a door. Is he stumbling? Yes. His body's stumbling.
So number 1 is the door.
Number 1 is the door.
So number 3 is where Bog is. Number 5 is where he started from. He got to the right of number 4.
Right. I'm going to run around to the front then.
Okay.
And is this the water barrel won't be sealed? I'm going to run around to the front, grab the water barrel, and try and open the front door.
Okay, Carl.
Yes.
What are you going to do? Are you Rand? Are you going to relay this information to Carl whilst you're running?
I didn't really think about it before, but I can. Yeah. Hey, Carl, can we give us a hand with this? I need help.
Okay. So you run around the front of the.
With what? I ran after you.
Okay, so that's going to take a little while. Bog.
I'm whipping off my cloak and beating
happened?
the flames out with it.
Okay, so you can flame. Let's see how. Make a cunning roll.
I decide to stop, go back, go through the window.
Okay,
Yeah, I got 14, and I've got 14.
40. You start flaying away with your coke. It has little effect, but it is blowing. You are doing something. Carl, by the time you climb in the window, you can see Bog is flapping around the fire with his coat. You can make a vigilance check. Yep, to see whether you think he's putting it out or flame, or what he's doing is going to fan the fire.
I make the vigilance.
Okay, you think that he's having little effect. You could do with a stronger, bigger person to actually cover the fire or roll the body.
Well, as it happens, I have a damp coat. I jump in.
You do. So you get to the body as Ran gets around the front of the barrel. Now, I will say, Ran, that you make roll 1d20. If you get 1 to 10, the barrel is half full and liftable. If you get 11 to 20, the barrel needs to be emptied a little bit.
18. It's really
18.
cool.
You need to empty it to actually move it. It's quite a standard beer barrel, so you need to empty a little bit before you can drag it in, and that's going to take a little bit of time.
Okay. I start slushing water out of it.
It's just a matter of kind of lifting the. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. You're pushing the water over and kind of allow it to drain out before you can roll it.
A bit, yeah.
So back into the warehouse. Carl.
Bog, keep an eye out. This cannot be our killer. So I put the thing on top of the body.
Okay.
Make sure I have my spear. Yank my spear out for you.
Yank your spear out the back of the undead guy. Carl, you throw your cloak over the undead person, and after a couple of seconds, you think it may have gone out. Just as Ran rolls a large barrel of water into the room. So Ran, you roll the barrel of water that's now half empty into the warehouse, just as Carl lowers the cloak over the body. What are you going to do? Are you going to
close the doors? Watch the window.
All right, I'll do what he says. All right, okay.
Shut the door. Bog, you're at the window.
Mm-hmm. Keeping an eye out, looking for anything else that's around.
Inside, quite quiet. Mm-hmm. Inside, number 3 are what are they called? Stacks of crates. Number 6, on top of one of the stacks of crates is a blanket, a sleeping blanket, and not possibly, and there looks like there's 2 books on it.
Okay, I'll point it out to the people who can read. Books here, for those who want them.
Books.
And, keeping an eye on everything.
Take a look.
What's in 5? And
Carl, you meander over to the crates, and on top of the crates there is a blanket covered in breadcrumbs and 2 books. One tome is Break Link, and the other tome is Blood Shrouding. Now, when I say books, they're more a series of loose leaf sheets sewn together, like a small pamphlet rather than a full-on book. But it's a book describing the ritual, Blood Shrouding, and the ritual Break Link.
Well, this is definitely something that belongs to our man. And this Break Link thing is very interesting.
So you have those.
What would it take to learn such a thing?
To learn it off by heart, it would take a little while, but it's a series of instructions. So you could follow the instructions and you would get an attempt to use it. But after you've done, you've read up on it several times for a bit, you could then perform it. But if you're going to read it as you would a recipe for a meal, you read the instructions and follow the instructions, and as to how the meal turns out, you don't know until you try it.
Okay, we'd like to do that. Break link, I believe, if it works the way I think it does, should make this creature lose its skin.
Yes.
It doesn't have any skin.
So, bar the exits, and somebody who's good at this should try it.
Well, I do have abilities to perform rituals of this type, but what exactly are we trying to do here?
Let's look at the instructions.
Okay, I read the instructions. So what's this break link do?
Okay, so let's go with break link first. So I haven't found blood shrouding. So break link. Let's read it. Oh, I've got these.
Do I know it since I have switch shadow, or do I not know it?
Yes.
Well, I'm lore master. I could roll.
Yeah, make a Lord Master roll.
Okay.
Crimson Cascade.
Yeah, make it.
Why are they not in here?
They're not on the cards.
No.
It should break the possession.
Yeah.
So, in a way, this gentleman possesses a skin, the same way that I possess, which you, of course, do not know of, but
break link. A mystic can break any current mystical links and bonds to an object or person by trapping the target in a circle of mystic runes and making a successful resolute test. The magic of the object is not affected, but the target can no longer be reached with rituals like Heretic's Trail and Summoning. In addition, any mystical bonds that may have been created by people visiting the location are negated, and which can be used to prevent others from using clairvoyance and Symbaroum stride in to view or reach the location until they have visited the location again. Finally, break link can be used to cut the bonds between a creature and a mystical artifact.
Yeah, so this would hopefully.
Is there a mystical artifact around that we can see? Do we find can we see the skull or anything like that?
No, so there's a link between the skin and the skin, right? So he's wearing a skin of a person, and this other skin is looking like the other skin.
Yeah.
So it would at least dispel that. Now, then he would be walking around with basically a bloodied mess on his.
But isn't he dead already?
Yes, he's dead, and he is a zombie, a corrupt zombie.
Oh, he's undead. He's undead.
He was undead. Yes, he was. So so you saw Master Vernon hanging from the rafters, and you saw that other chap hanging from rafters in the stables, and this guy is in the same condition. His skin has been removed, and
this is our guy. This struck me like a brainless guardian.
yes, that's your first assumption was exactly that. It was a just a zombie. He was making groaning noises as you went in, as Bog went in.
So this isn't the thing we're chasing?
No.
We should probably search this place.
Let's search the place, see what else we can find. We'll take the books anyway.
Let's search the place.
So everyone make a vigilance check. Which areas are you searching?
I got a 3, so I'm searching everything.
I got a 15. So
15.
I'm keeping an eye on
I
outside.
fail, so
Okay. Bog, you have found in your pack some scraps of bacon that were left over from a week ago, which you
Well, it's important.
surprised you found bacon.
Surprise bacon, the best kind. It's important to keep energized.
Yeah, I found bacon, but you had the bacon anyway.
I'm not
I
telling
found
you
and I found Bog with the bacon.
I'm not sharing my pack bacon.
Are you not going to share your bacon?
No.
The two of us are discussing that for a brief moment.
While they're discussing it, I'm searching every nook and cranny.
Okay, so you, in the top right-hand corner of the, let me get the map back up. What's out? Oh, put my glass in my eye. So, where's the? So the top of the map. Okay, so you search area, the top area 3, and there's a series of crates that have got nothing in them. None of the crates have actually got any wares in that corner. Lots of dust on them. They don't appear to have been used, moved, or anything like that for a while. Which appears
Let's
to
look
be
for crates that have been moved.
yes. Right. So if you move to the far left in that corner, there's some dust, but nothing of any worth. Moving down towards the bottom left-hand corner, there is a series of crates. On top is the bed roll with breadcrumbs. That has not been slept in for maybe a day. You can't say for certain, but it's been slept in recently, but not in the last 24 hours, as far as you can tell.
As far as I know, and not that I wouldn't know, but these creatures do not sleep.
No. So, blood shrouding. It comes back to you. The mystic flays a dead person and dresses in its skin, one sliver at a time. After that, the mystic looks exactly like the dead person, but has his own voice and his own eyes, which limits its uses. To trick an individual who was acquainted to the deceased, and who talks to the mystic, a test against discreet versus vigilance must be made. The effect lasts for 24 hours, then the dead skin falls off. So it's in the back of Copper Crown, that's why I couldn't find it. So, so you're making your way around the room. Under the window, there's obviously where you lot came in. To the far corner where number 5 is, it appears that there's scratches and bits of blood and tiny bits of flesh where the zombie has been sitting, waiting.
Well, that's about it then.
But there are other areas, I suppose.
So anywhere else you'd like to check?
What about that crate that's right in the middle?
Make a
I was just going to say under the crates. Yeah.
make a strength roll to move the crate.
Fail.
It's too heavy.
I'll try. We'll all help them.
Okay, everyone make a strength roll. Basic strength roll.
You get it?
Nope.
Let me see.
We get around it together and just sort of.
yeah.
I get it with the second time trying with their help.
Okay, Carl, make a quick.
Second time I succeed as well.
Okay, you move the crate out of the way. It appears to be much heavier than it should be, but for some reason it's just maybe the way it's sitting, but it feels very heavy. You move it
inside it.
out of the way, and beneath the crate there is a steep spiral staircase leading down.
Well, before we go down,
As you move it, you hear something coming from below, but you're going to make everyone make a discreet roll to see if you made any noise.
Failed.
Go.
Let's see here.
Failed by 4.
There were 4.
I failed by 1.
Okay. Ran,
I made it.
you made it. So 2 of you failed. It does scrape as it goes past. You have no idea whether that noise carried down, but what you can, so there's a moment of, and you kind of pause, and in that silent pause, you can hear the lament of the lament of a tormented man, or maybe a beast, and a soft, consoling voice coming from below.
Okay.
Just then, the door to the warehouse opens, and the black cloaks walk in.
Fuck's sake.
Shit. Just what we needed. Okay.
And you hear, "You there! Step aside."
Sure, go ahead.
Are we going to go downstairs?
I was pointing to them to go down the stairs.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah, all right. We'll step back. Go like, yes, we found something mysterious. You better investigate.
The flare down there.
And the king's skull?
Down there.
Make a persuade roll.
The king's skull.
I don't know.
Yeah. Failed it.
Persuade.
No,
Okay.
hang on. I'm a storyteller. I get a +1 on my persuasion. Yeah, absolutely. Everything is down there. Huge skull, glowing skull, the best skull you ever seen. Everyone tells me it's the best skull.
You remember from the letter that Master Vernon had written to Lassifor Night Pitch that Gorak, this guy, had come back from the woods with a king's cranium, with a cranium that he was waving around.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that Vernon was worried that Night Pitch had touched, that created the corruption. That's, you assume, is the king's skull. So you convince them. So Mello says, "Step aside. The witch hunters will deal with this." And the 5 of them enter the steps going down.
I go after them.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me change the map.
Okay. So the plan, right, is that we see what happens, and if it goes pear-shaped, we run up and we put the crate back over it.
The plan is to get the skull.
So, top of the
That could be
stairs.
plan B.
As you begin to walk around the stairs, the 5 black coats walk into the room, and you can see from where you are 5 objects. Number 1's the stairs, obviously. Number 2. Let me just find the key. Number 2. Number 2 is a rather corrupt-looking human being, an abomination almost. He looks very, very wrong.
Abominable.
With him is another chap who is a changeling. Number 2's the abomination, the human being that looks corrupt and looks like he's moaning and groaning, and he's the one making noises. He is chained to the wall, standing in front of him, trying to soothe him and talk to him in a calming fashion, is the changeling. Number 5 is just rubble, and number 4 on a crate is the skull of a skull with a copper crown on it.
Okay.
I'll take my bag, empty it, and ready it to throw over a skull, and wait for an inevitable confrontation to start so that I can actually do that.
Okay. Balmero says, "Kill it." The 4 guys start walking towards the creature person that's chained to the wall, as the other chap draws his sword and stands in front of them, and they have a swing at him whilst so the four of them attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 3 of them swing and miss. One of them hits him really hard, but doesn't do any damage. Whilst that's happening, Balmello walks towards the crate, makes a beeline for the crate.
I wouldn't touch that.
So are you just going to watch this play out, or so that's round 1?
I think no, I will not stand watch.
Can you set the crate on fire with your magic?
That's not a bad idea. I can try that. Should be easy enough.
Okay, you can do that on round 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep moving that crown.
Okay, so beginning of round 2. What's your quick?
8.
11.
Just double check to see if you go first or they go first. I think you go first. Yes, you go first.
Okay, go for it. It was 11. Is that Bog?
Bog, yeah.
Goblin, do something.
It would be Bog, Ran, Carl, and then the
Carl goes
black
before me. He's got hair.
But you're the one who's going to cast the magic. If you
I'm
want,
going to go to the base of the stairs, ready to. Well, just above the base of the stairs, ready to stop people coming up.
Okay, Carl, what are you going to do?
I want to grab that skull.
Balmello's going to get there before you. He's got 2 rounds to get there.
He's bank Balmello.
Yeah. The only chance you think you've got, Ran, is as Bog suggested, was firing the magic missiles. The I forgot what it's called.
Brimstone Cascade.
Brimstone Cascade.
Do you have any weapons at all, Carl?
I do. But
what have you got?
A rapier, but prefer not to use it. For some reason, I do not have a ranged weapon.
All right. I'm going to.
Yes, I do apologise. None of you actually have bows and arrows. I didn't think about. I didn't.
Fantastic! I have a bow and arrow. I say I have a bow and arrow, and I pull it out.
No, none of you have them. I forgot to.
None of us have.
That's where the cookie crumbles. Luckily, I have my mystical powers, so I draw all the strength that I have and fire a huge cascade of brimstone out of my hands at the crate.
Yep.
And I'm beelining straight for that area.
And I get a 2.
I want to use the gentleman in front of me as...
And that does 1d12 damage.
Okay.
To the crate. Which is... Go on.
Okay, that's no problem. I'm going to... right.
1 damage.
One damage. Okay, that'll set on fire. Ran. Make a resolute check, -3.
Oh, me? Sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, Ran, make a resolute check, -3.
Resolute check, -3. Yeah, I get it.
You get it, okay.
Get a 1.
1. So next round, you've done that. So, okay. The black coats cut down the changeling as the creature that is chained to the wall breaks free, and you can hear the sound of flesh ripping. Round 3, something bursts from the flesh of the creature, an abomination.
Uh-oh.
Well, I still have the same designated target.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not sure who to be cheering for in this case.
So the creature's body just kind of drops from it as an abomination with long razor-sharp claws and big teeth and black skin. Right, oily black skin rises from the what's left of you assume was Gorak.
Well, that should keep the black clouds busy.
And it will attack the black cloaks. Another round. So Bog, make
Dear, what a pity.
No. Carl's no good. Bog, make a resolute -3 roll.
No.
No.
I rolled a 19.
19. A voice in your head says, kill the sorcerer.
Do I know
No.
who's the sorcerer?
But you feel an overwhelming desire to comply with its wishes.
But I don't know there's a sorcerer. I don't know who is a sorcerer.
There was only one person's cast magic so far.
Is it overwhelming?
Yes.
Okay, I turn around and stab Ran in the stomach. Well,
Ran.
I mean, it is overwhelming. I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
Something has bent, has used bend will to force you to act. So make a.
Sorry.
But you have a spear. Ran. As Bog spins round, you are close enough so that he's going to have to take a step back before attempting to stab you with the spear. He's not going to be able to simply come round, but he comes round, takes a step back, and then goes to stab you. However, you are quicker than Bog, I believe. No, you're not.
No.
Make a Bog, make a strength roll.
Sorry
Strength
about
roll.
those anti-goblin quips earlier. Are we, Ren?
Yeah, so make a strong versus what's Rand's strong. So let's just check that. Make a strong -3.
This is Ran.
So yes, no a Bog. To hit Ran, make a strong
Isn't
-3.
it
strong, not
accuracy, not
accuracy.
strength?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong. So Bog's 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So figure.
I think, isn't it a combat accuracy versus quick, effectively?
Yep. So that's 2.
He's not surprised by this.
Nope. Oh.
Well, I'm shocked by it, but
I'm certainly surprised by it, but...
we won't be very surprised. So yeah, make a
20.
You got to roll a 20. Oh yes, that's okay.
Third 20 of this game.
So you thrust your spear, miss it. So it'd be accuracy -2. Ran.
So, I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Goblin?
I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest.
You just you repeat the words of the voice in your head. I've got to kill you.
I've got to kill the sorcerer.
His eyes have rolled into the back of his head.
Aha, so I can tell he's under the influence.
Yes. Yeah, he's definitely under the influence. Too much troll.
Troll's armpit.
For example.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
Carl. The fight's going on with the 4 black coats and the abomination.
Well, I'll pull my rapier.
Yep.
What's this gentleman in front of me is still beelining for the right?
Yep.
Well, I'm right behind him.
You could. So you're right behind Bog. You could whack him over the head.
Am I right behind Bog? No, I'm beelining for the...
Oh, sorry. Yes, you run off. Yes. So you're gonna, as Belemo goes to grab the skull, you can get a free attack in.
This is stupid. Yeah, I guess I get an advantage. But I'm really sucky at this.
Yep.
And also, but it's a precise weapon, and an advantage gives me +2.
Yes.
That's +3.
Yep. It's
So it becomes an
quick is
overwhelming
+1.
11.
It's a back attack, so I'm going to give you a +3.
Okay. I mean, the
Well,
moment
you
he
get-
touches the skull, in my mind, he's a goner.
Yep.
So when he does, I have to end him. It's just what's going to have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Black Cloak. Here I go.
So stab him.
Okay, dice. 8. Oh, that's pretty good.
8.
That's it.
5. Okay, well that's really, really good. You stab him through the back for 5 damage. He screams and falls to the floor as your weapon is stuck in his back. Drops his shield and screams, "To me! To me!"
I don't know who Toomey is, but I throw my bag over the skull and run.
Okay, you can do the next turn. As that happens, the abomination slaughters 2 of the guards. Sorry, the black coats, and the other 2 will run to the bottom of the stairs. So we're left with Bog and Ran at the stairs. Ran goes first.
Okay.
Then
Well,
Bog.
actually, I'm going last at the end of this.
Oh, yeah. So
Okay.
Bog,
So what I'm going to try and do, I recognize that his will has been tampered with. I'm going to cast an anathema in order to break the spell.
Okay.
So it's my resolute modified by the resolute of the spellcaster.
Yep. So that's a spellcaster. His resolute is 13. So it's -3.
Okay. And I get it.
Excellent.
So the spell lifts in a miasma of smoke off the top of the goblin's head. Or that may just be his breath, but we know.
Yeah. Difficult to
stab
tell.
him again.
just for that. No, I was under the influence. The skulls are going to attempt to control the. But it can't uncontrol the undead, so it will. No, well, it'll have a go at controlling Carl in a second. So you've done that, Bog. You're no longer have an overwhelming desire to kill Ran.
Just
What are you going
the
to do?
usual background level.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
2 black coats are going to be running to the stairs very shortly.
going to hold the bottom of the stairs to let Carl go past me.
No, Carl's at the gate. At the box.
Yeah, but
with
he's running
the-
back towards us to bring the skull upstairs, I assume.
He will be in a second. The black coat will get to the stairs before Carl does.
Are
But
they fleeing?
yes, because
Oh,
the
they're fleeing.
abomination
Oh,
just
I
killed 2 of
don't
them.
know.
Everyone's
back.
running. Carl, you need to make 1 resolute check before you get to the bottom of the stairs. See if that's resolute -3.
Yeah, no problem. It's like near critical.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Roll. Who goes first? Okay, they do. So the black coats get to the bottom of the stairs, and then Carl will get to the bottom of the stairs. Ran and Bog, these 2 black cloaks, are running towards you with this horrendous abomination, flailing, raging, and marching towards you.
We must kill the abomination.
Sure, give me the skull. I'll get it out of here. You kill the abomination.
beautiful creature.
I'm half your size. I'm literally at your waist level.
Yes, but I'm dead.
You are.
Well, you've less to lose.
So, we'll go round in quickness order. The two black coats have got a quickness of, I believe, 10.
Okay, I'm before them.
So Bog goes first, then Carl. No, so Carl, Bog, and Ran, and then the black coats go just before Ran. So Carl, you can get to the stairs and past the black cloaks before they get to the bottom of the stairs because of your quickness. Then Bog will react, then the black cloaks, and then Ran. So Carl, what are you going to do?
I'm going to run, and at the same time, say, and make these men fight.
You me?
The abomination.
You're the talker.
Persuade that. I don't think you're going to be able to persuade them to run back to their death. That may be a
hell of a good talker.
Or do the fiery thing on the abomination.
I'm just too busy. I'm looking green at the gills and like very perturbed and almost throwing up because I've just taken permanent corruption from that last spell.
Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. So, Carl, you just shouted at Ran to do something.
Yeah, I'm running basically.
You've got past Bog. You'll get equal to Ran on the stairs. Bog, what are you going to do? The stairs, 2 people can go up at a time.
Okay, I'm going up with Carl, but I am keeping the black cloaks back. If they basically try and run up, I'm going to impale them.
Okay.
So that, I want them as a meat shield and slowing them down so that the...
Okay, these guys are panicked. They start running up. Make a accuracy roll.
8.
8. The first guy runs up without thinking, runs into your spear and impales himself on the spear, which causes him to fall off of the steps with your spear attached to his chest, screaming. The second one runs up and he tries to barge past the 2 of you, Bog and Ran. But rolls a natural 20 and catches his foot on the top of the steps and stumbles. Ran, your go.
Jump over him. Run up.
Okay. Oh,
so, Ran, next to Ran is Carl, about to run up the steps. 1 step behind him is Bog, who just turned around and caught the guy with the spear. You are 2 or 3 steps up, looking out. There's a guy who's just tripped face down onto the steps. In front of him is the abomination, a blight beast.
So I could go up the stairs.
Yes.
There's nothing between me and the exit.
No.
I think the
towering creature with bare muscles, with fingers transformed into knives of bone, with outgrowth from the cranium, as if he wore a pointy crown.
Yeah, he's behind me. He's the other side of me.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to run up the stairs.
Okay.
And make room for my friends and yell, "Run!"
You can get to you can get out in your go because it's only a few steps to the top, whereas Carl had got to the bottom of the steps and had to run up and obviously shout at you. You get up and you're outside, back into the main barn, the main warehouse. New round. The abomination leaps, makes its way to the stairs, and Bog and Carl, you can see it grabbing the black coat and dragging it back, sticking his claws in and ripping flesh and armor from the creature, from the person. To make a quick roll and don't get a 20.
Nope, didn't get a 20.
Okay,
got a 16.
16. You are simply running, so that's That's okay. You get to the top of the stairs. Carl,
Yes, sir.
what do you get? You need to run. So make a successful run, which is kind of
Quick.
13.
13.
My quick is 8.
Your quick is 8. Oh, Bob, your quick's 11. So you get almost to the top of the stairs as the creature will get halfway up the stairs. You need to make another quick roll to get out. However, that's another round. Ran, what are you doing? You're at the top, and you can see them running up. Not as fast as they should be, but they're running up, and you can see the abomination is beginning to run up behind them.
This is tricky.
So this is below this. So you've moved this out of the way,
Hmm.
and that revealed the stairway.
I could push it back again to make sure nothing gets out, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Well, it took all 3 of us to move it the last time, so.
Yes, yeah. I know. Also, you'd be trapped, so I really don't want to do that. I'm a nice person, really.
Yeah.
I could throw some more brimstone at this creature, but I'm worried that my corruption level's already crippling me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. How likely are they to get caught by the creature?
You can position yourself to fire over them as they run out. So you get one fire off with the brimstone as they get out. They're just taking a bit longer to get out than they would normally. But you can get past them and you won't hit them, unless you roll a natural 20. But we won't worry about that.
To hell with it. And why not? Why not? In for a penny, in for a pound. I shall fire a brimstone cascade at this horrific creature. I shall position myself at the top of the stairs and fire over the heads of the goblin.
Okay.
And it's a resolute against quick, I think.
Its quick is 10, so...
Okay, so it's... 20. The first time I rolled one of the whole night.
Curious.
So, you attempt to fire the brimstone. The corruption is eating you up. Sparks come out of your hand. You miss completely, and the crate that you moved to the left, away from the covering of the steps, burst into flames as you hit it by mistake.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Right. And let's just see how much temporary corruption that earned me. 3. Okay. I'm on 14 corruption.
Oh, bloody hell. That's not good. Because so Ran,
really feeling green.
Bog, and Carl, you get up to the top of the steps, and this creature, as you see, Ran miss you completely with his brimstone, ignites the box. You get up, you're inside the warehouse now.
How badly burning is the box?
It's on fire.
Can we find non-burned parts to push it over the...
Yes, because he would have been standing, so it's the corner, the two sides that he could see. So the other side, yeah. So you've got one turn to do that. So we make a strength roll to see if you can push it over the...
8.
8. So anyone else want to have a go?
4.
8, yeah. 4, yep. Ran
gets a 6.
Perfect. All 3 of you push the crate over the top of the hole.
Put out the fire.
There is a barrel of water close to where number 1 is on the screen.
Cool. Yeah, put out the fire.
The box is quite heavy. As you run over there, you see the box lift slightly, like something is bashing under here. Boom, boom, and a roar.
Perhaps you should call the watch.
Pile up more. And have it start a big fire, basically, since that one is burning.
No, let's not fire. Let's keep it trapped there and call the watch and have professionals deal with it.
Are you advocating running away?
No, I'm saying we don't make a big fire. I'm saying we keep the top on there, and then one person goes out and shouts for the watch. We'll put the fire out, put more weight on top of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna start putting more crates on it. So even if this thing breaks out, it's gonna be in a fiery inferno.
But that's I was trying to put out the fire
Why are you
Okay,
putting out the fire?
because I don't want the crate to break and it to get out.
I don't want the crate to break.
I don't want the crate
But
to
then
be.
the abomination will be on fire. We like that, don't we?
Yes, we do. Put more wood on the fire.
Build a fire.
Build
pile.
a fire
I
1,000
slowly back up
miles
the
away
crazy tall beams. I'm
The
going
crate.
to,
my
I'm
sorry.
going to call the watch.
You're gonna so you okay? Bog's gonna run out and call the watch.
I
Ran.
pile on.
And Carl,
I'll be
okay,
back
so,
in 1 second, back in just 1 minute.
so Carl, these crates in the corner are empty, as
Yep.
opposed to number 4. So it's just a simple strength roll to drag one over. So one of you can drag one empty crate over, and either.
I'll do that too.
Okay.
I'm feeling.
I fail.
Okay. The crate bursts up again, and fingers, as it bursts up, you can see the clawed fingers of this creature poking through the bottom of the crate.
I think it's run time.
Let's try again.
I'm gonna run. I got none.
Okay.
I make it this time. I pull
Okay.
over a crate.
And put it on top. So you put it on top, and the creature is going to attempt to. Okay, it punches the top of the crate, and the crate moves a tiny bit, but not as much as it previously did. Ran. How far away?
I'm out the door.
You're running.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to Bog shortly. Carl.
I'm taking 2 old adages to heart. One is
Another
I don't have to run faster than the creature, I just have to run faster than Carl. And secondly, he's already dead. So
Yep.
Another crate on top.
Okay, you can do one more crate on top. Beyond that, you need extra people to help. You need an extra crates to climb up. So strength roll, 2, 1 to lift it, and then 1 to get it on top of the other crate. That's going to take another round. Creature.
Yeah, I moved it next to it, not on top.
Okay. So you have a stepped area. The crates go up and come down again as the creature's trying to burst its way out. One more crate as Ran and Bog get to the stables where the town's watch were.
what's left of the stables?
Oh yes, the stables that are burnt down. Burning stables. As you run down, you can see the stable on fire. And the town's watch are organising townspeople with buckets, and they've got a rhythm going, and they're feeding buckets in and throwing water in as you run down towards the watch.
Right. Just the watch, there's no witch hunters or anything, right?
No, because the witch hunters you left dead.
Yeah,
but,
they're already dead. Okay.
Just before you get to that, Carl's going to have one more attempt at a box,
Okay.
and then you can chat. Carl.
9. What's my strength?
I can't remember. Where's he gone? 15. Yes. No. 12. 3 under. Yes. You lift another box, and you have now got 4 boxes. Or you're going to. Yeah, you've got 4 boxes that are precariously placed around and on the gap. The creature. You hear poof, and you assume that the creature's punched through the bottom of the bottom box. But the whole thing moves a little bit, but there appears that the noise does sound as if it's broken through. Ran and Bog, you get to the town's watch.
Mm-hmm. I say, the flare! This way.
Make a persuade roll. Make a persuade roll.
I'm not very persuasive. But I got a 6, and my persuasion is 6.
Excellent. So the town's watch, one of the town's watchmen that noticed you earlier, that helped you with the witch, turns around and she says, "What are you saying, little boy? Little man?"
The flare, an abomination, and a fire.
He calls two watchmen with him. He says, "Come with me.
This way.
Show me. Show me." As you turn to run, Ran is running towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Ran.
I'm just going to say, yeah, the flare. It's right up there. Go for it. Everyone, go and get the flare. It's the flare. It's absolutely the flare. It's definitely the flare. You should all go and
okay, make a persuasive roll with your storytelling, and we'll see.
Made it easily.
Roll. Let's see. Roll 1d6. Add 2 to it, and that's how many?
6.
6, 8. So you now have 8.
Oh, it's 4 plus 2, 6.
6. Okay, 6 plus the 3. You have 9 town's watchmen running after Bog as Bog runs towards the warehouse.
After the last crate, I'm going to retreat strategically.
Okay, so the creature gets one more pop. Okay, you get to the door as you hear a crash and a explosion of wood as the abomination, has burst through the crate. But you are out the door and you can see Bog running towards you. You can't see Ran inside, but you can see Bog running towards you with 9 towns watchmen.
I basically run.
Okay, run past them. Bog, what are you gonna do?
So what do I see in front of me? I see the warehouse. Is the warehouse all on fire, just inside it?
No, the fire has more or less gone out now with the way that Carl was stacking the wood.
Okay.
Carl has run out, and as he opens the door, you see behind him, in the dying embers of the wood, the whole crate's burst out, and this dark black clawed creature crawls from the cellar of the warehouse.
I turn to the watchman who believe me, says, "We're going to need more help. It's an abomination."
Right, how many of those see?
We shouldn't need persuasion. This is sort of obvious.
It's fine, just stab it a lot.
Even humans aren't this stupid.
The first town's watchman, where's the mouse gone? The first town's watchman says to what looks like the younger one of the group that's coming, "Get some more help." He runs off. 8 of them charge towards the door. But what are you? So Carl's running away, Rand's running away. Bog, what's your plan of attack before we find out what the other two?
I'm going to stab it.
You're going to run into the warehouse and attack the creature
with the watchman.
The watchman. What weapon do you have? Bearing in mind you haven't got a spear. Your spear's stuck in. No,
it's stuck in watchman or black club downstairs.
But it didn't stick in him.
He impaled himself in it.
He definitely said that. Yeah.
In that case, I will use my dagger. Is it a dagger or a? I have a dagger. I'll look around for a better. I'll basically. Okay, I'm going up with them. What do they are?
I can toss you a sword if you want, because I'm not going to use it.
Are they armed with spears?
They have got swords on them. Ran, you do know what you've got in your bag.
Who, me?
Yes, in your bag you do have a small wooden statue of Rhaegal the White.
Oh yes.
Which I think might be a good idea. That we can use Rhaegal the White now if you would like. If you can find the character sheet, Rhaegal the White is the ogre that all you need to do is whisper, "Come to my aid," and you effectively swap places, and Rhaegar the White, a large ogre, appears.
Who's got this statue? Me?
It's a Deus Ex Machina. It's a way in which.
Well, I know what it is, but who's got it?
You have in your bag.
Who, me? Okay.
Yeah.
I have a statue
of an ogre.
Okay, I'm going to whisper to it, "Come to our aid."
Okay, so you find yourself swapping places with Rhaegar the ogre. You are now in Rhaegar the ogre's backpack, and Rhaegar the ogre is charging. Rhaegar the White is now turned around, charging towards the warehouse.
Oh hell! I'm Rhaegar.
Yes.
All right, I don't have his character sheet anywhere.
Oh, it's
Is it in the book?
No one sent it, isn't it?
I did send it.
It should be in our mess.
Yeah, the messenger group. It is there
One
somewhere.
of the character sheets.
Give me a second, I'll find it.
Okay, it's Carl.
You guys keep going.
You know, Carl and Bog, you both know that Rhaegar exists because
I think it's pronounced Rajor because it's pronounced. Yeah, because he rages.
Yeah, Rager. Yeah, Rager. You know he exists, and you've heard Rand talk about him and what he can do, and because he's activated him, you can you know what's happening. So Carl,
maybe he has an ogre, but I was stacking wood just a moment ago, so
yes,
I'm the real man here.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that I should grab these gentlemen as fast as possible. Okay, so he has an ogre, but we have black cloaks underneath that.
They're all dead.
Yes, but they have human weapons in them.
They do have human weapons,
but they're beneath the ground.
Not a problem. It's not a problem. We just say that they stabbed each other because this thing was super evil.
Yes.
Okay, we can turn around then and assist. I do have a secondary weapon. It's a piece of shit, but it's there.
Okay. So, everyone charges into the warehouse. Unfortunately, Bog, you are in the front because you were chasing everyone. In the center of the warehouse is this abomination. You have got.
When I realize I don't have a spear, I'm going to let the watchman charge past me and then assist them in ways that I can.
Okay.
Because all I have is a dagger right now.
Just take a spear from the first watchman that falls. Does anybody have range weapons of all these dead people?
No, nobody had any ranged weapons. The Night's Watch aren't going to be walking around with bows and arrows and crossbows. They simply have swords, but they raise swords and they charge into the warehouse. So that is 8 of them. So let's see. They're going to go first.
My weapon.
So 1, 2, 3. 8, 4 hit. So they're going to do 2, rubbish, 8, 6, and 5. Oh, one of them. Okay, so they do 2 points of damage. They charge me on hitting this this creature, and you see of all the hits that actually touch it, one of them seems to catch and actually draw blood, so to speak. The creature gets 2 attacks and will attempt to grab one of the watchmen. Okay, and again. Grabs the watchman and he digs his claws into the watchman and you see him literally tear him in 2 and drops him. So, Bog, there's going to be another 2 rounds of combat before the ogre and the and Carl gets back. You can either decide
to
watch. So 2 more rounds. So there's now, how many is there? 7 of them. And it's going to be about 3 or 4 rounds after that before more watchmen come. Carl, are you watching? So that's 1. Yeah. 5. Okay, so that's actually lots better. That is 6 hits, doing 1, 3, 1, 2, 7. Okay, to 1 point. Drops it. So that's now 3. Okay, another one just nicks it. Doesn't do hardly any damage, but actually does get through its tough flesh and appears to do something. Another round. The creature attempts to grab. Oh, missed. Oh, goes to swing at one of the town's watchmen, and as his claws swipe, just catches some of the armor of the watchman as he steps back and misses him.
If I can see anything on the ground to throw at it, I will.
There is now a sword on the ground that the dead watchman had in his hand as the ogre gets to the door of the warehouse. Carl, what are you doing?
I'm standing in the background and waiting for... Actually, there are so many people here. It's kind of chaos. I'm gonna try to figure out if I can drop something on its head. It's a warehouse. Are there winches here? Are there crates on top? Is there anything?
Yes, there are winches and there are crates, and yes, there's various things hanging from the ceiling. So depending on what you want to try, we can.
I'd like to keep myself busy because my attacks are really with a dagger. It's laughable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you can swing the pulleys at it, at the creature, try and disrupt him.
I'll try that. Yeah.
Okay.
If I can attach something like a hook to it or something, that would be fantastic. Maybe hook it, keep it in place. I don't know. Get creative.
There is a large hook. Make a accuracy roll.
Oh, that's the one I need.
Yeah, accuracy, and we'll see if you can swing the pulley out and see if it comes back and actually catches on the back of the creature.
2.
2. It swings out the pulley, goes past the town's watch. As it comes back, it catches on a loose piece of carapace which is making up the abomination, and catches. Just as Rager charges through the doors of the warehouse.
All right. Rager's going straight towards the abomination, and swinging a double axe at it.
Yep.
All right. What's my?
Your accuracy is 15.
Oh yes. Smacking it right in the face with a double axe.
Okay. What did you get?
I got a 6.
6. You hit.
It's 1d10 plus 1
plus 1
plus a d4 to all attacks.
Yep.
Actually, you should have advantage now. So that should give you a 1d4 extra.
Yep.
To hit.
So it's 2d4. Yeah, you got advantage.
I do. How did I get that?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm not going to argue, but
2 plus 2 plus it's stuck on a hook.
2 plus 2 plus 4, so that's 8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
8. So that is 2. So it's 5. Not quite enough. You whack it as hard as you can to the head, and it takes it, but it is still screaming, and it's going to get 1 attack on a nearby town's watch. No, 2 attacks, sorry. Oh, yes. And in front of you, picks up a town's watch and just tears him in half. So you're now down to 6. And they all swing. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Ooh, nasty. So 4 hit, doing okay, 4 hit, and their swords just whack against the side of the body, doing no damage.
How badly hurt does it look?
We're on 5, so you'd say it's a third of the way there.
A third isn't very much.
No.
We're about a third of the way through Watchmen too.
Yes, And you've got another couple of rounds before the rest of the more watchmen charge up. So
I pick up the sword.
Okay, you've got the sword. Carl, you have hold of the block, and it is
I'd like
attached to it.
Like to lift it up, but not enough to tear off the carapace, so that I just sort of have it
Knock it off
dangling
balance.
so that it doesn't have foothold.
Okay, so it's got no way. This creature is dead set on killing everyone in front of it. It is not totally aware that it's been caught or that it's got a chance of being having its balance knocked out. So if you make a base strength roll,
Okay, let's see here.
so anything under 12, and you can knock it over or knock it off balance enough for it to fall down.
That's
and
another
lose
2.
Another 2. As it lunges forward, you jump off the crate, yanking down as hard as you can on the pulley, which is just enough after it's torn the watchman in two to knock it off balance. And in front of everyone, the creature goes face down and loses a round of combat.
Stab it.
It loses 2 rounds. It goes down. It's going to take another round to get up. So it's lost 2 rounds. So you effectively get 2 free attacks.
Stab it.
Okay. Who goes first? So we're going to Bog, Ran, and the Watchman.
3.
Rhaegar, sorry. 3.
How much damage does a sword do?
1d10.
1d10. Oh, same as I did before. Okay.
Also 1d8 because it'll be a short sword.
1.
1. You whack
Not
it.
today.
Has no effect. Rager.
I will rage. All right, I'm going to.
You got the advantage. Oh, sorry. You still got. But it was 1d4 in addition because of the advantage. But you still didn't get more. You didn't get more than 6 to do any damage to it. So you get 1d4 plus 1d4 plus 1d10 plus 1. But you got to hit it first.
Yeah. Right.
You can get minus or plus 5 hit.
I hit it.
Okay, so 1d4.
Axe, good. All right.
So
D10 plus 4 plus a D4 plus 1. 8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
So down at 7. 7.7. You whack it as hard as you can, and you feel the axe embed in its back. Then those guys go. Okay, they get 3 actual hits because they're useless. Oh, 7, 5, and 8. Plus some d4s. Let's go. I've got d4s. So that is 3, 4, 5. Another 5 points of damage. It starts to scream. Yep, it starts to scream. You've reached its pain threshold, and the thing starts writhing around. You've got 1 more free attack before it gets up. It'll get up. So here's your free attack. It gets up ready to attack as the rest of the watchmen run in. So make it count. Who wants to go first? Bog. So make an attack roll, and then you roll 1d8 and a 1d4 and tell me what you get.
1d8 and 1d4. I hit
Yep.
anyway. I rolled a 9.
Yep.
And d4. Bump. I got 7 in total. A 6 and a 1.
6 and a 1. So you chop at this thing, and you cut a big swathe through its belly, and it starts to bleed out. It's still alive, but it is screaming. It's just alive.
No, it's okay, guys. It's done. You don't need to do any more. It's just going to bleed out shortly. I've killed it.
It is guts that start hanging out, but it's raging as it climbs up. Rhaegar.
You finish him off, Rachel. I've done the work.
Hitting it with axe. Again, hit axe. Right. What do we get this time? 9.
9, 3. You whack it and chop the thing in 2, as
Yes.
hits the area on the body that Bog had sliced, and you just literally cut the thing in two as it falls and dies in front of you.
I sort of turn around and go, "Thanks for the assist, big man."
Ah!
And with that, you have killed the abomination and discovered who the Flayer was. And
No.
we'll end it there. I'll just explain roughly who the Flayer was. So Gorak and his lover Alara went into the woods, and they found a dead king's tomb. The dead king had died, but he was a magic user or a sorcerer, and had inhabited the skull with the copper crown, and corrupted it. As he came back, they came back, he managed to corrupt the entire team quite badly. All of them died. Gorak was because he touched the copper crown, had become incredibly corrupt. In fact, it turning him into the full abomination. Alanra, using his powers of sorcery, found that there were 6 murders. The first 2 murders Gorak did, and he was eating the glands. Alanra, using some of his knowledge, discovered this blood ritual, and was killing people to take the glands to stave off Gorak's corruption, and attempted to find the break link spell or ritual to break the link between the cranium and Gorak, which is what he was doing. He was the Flayer, so he was taking the skin and taking the glands. When he found Master Vernon, if you'd have followed that a little bit further, you'd have found that Master Vernon actually, whilst he had gone north, he'd also gone south to the Odo Magica as well, and had stolen the one of the rituals from the magic tower, which was enabling him, which was the 2 books you found. One of them he'd stolen. But other than that, there's a segment in the middle that involved investigating. If you'd have gone to the watchtower rather than follow the footsteps, then you would have been investigating the actual murders and found a bit more about those. But because you charged up to the over the rooftops, you found the last murder. At which point it became quite a quick. I say quick, still 4 hours. Quite a quick ending. But that's Symbaroum, more or less.
Good. Symbaroum's
That was great.
interesting.
Thank you so much.
It is
I've never come across it before.
It's a great setting. Very dark, and yeah, I do like the corruption, and casting spells actually corrupts you.
Yeah, I definitely know that.
Yeah, so you'd been fully corrupt.
One more spell, I would have been fully corrupt. I was
And you-
one
And are you
point away
lost
from
at
it.
that point?
If I rolled a 4 on a D4 on my last spell, I would have turned into an abomination too.
Yeah, so you would have had a second abomination burst from the skin and attack.
I'm very surprised that that Carl was able to do anything, and he was able to do a lot. And he's
Yeah.
like near useless when you look at any kind of combat skill or anything of that sort.
Yeah,
You're looking at a
Well,
3 foot
none of us were particularly good at combat, so we stayed well away from it.
so I made
Yeah, 'cause none of the combat characters are in the
7. I made 7 characters, 3 of which were the warriors, which we had the 2 basic warriors, the dwarf warrior, and they were the firepower, and then little goblin, the magic user, and the undead guy was the interesting ones, but they didn't actually have any real offensive abilities. And then you just got the ogre, who just is a backup if all else fails.
Which it did.
Yeah, I quite like the idea of having that that statue. That, you know, if the chips are down and it's looking like you're going to die terribly, you whip out the statue and you go, "Oh, help me!" You swap places, and the ogre goes on a rampage and saves the day.
That being said, in a one shot, the occasional TPK
Yeah,
is
Well, yeah, I mean, it was that's why I didn't mind casting my last anathema spell, because I thought, hell, I've got a 1 in 4 chance of actually turning into an abomination and becoming an NPC. But I'll take it anyway, just on the off chance it happens. Why not? It'll be fine.
I think because you hadn't gone over the limit and everyone had run away, it seemed, we got half an hour to go. And I thought, well, if we bring the ogre out, then it could turn everything and there's a big fight, rather than just we run away and the watch deal with it. And
did you change much because of the lack of half the group the warriors won?
No,
that was just avoided things.
No,
because if there'd been 6 of us against the black cloaks at the start, that could have been very different.
The way it says it is black cloaks turn up and they try to take the little girl, and if it's a round of combat or you just need to best them, you get a couple of decent hits in and they kind of back off. It's not a fight to the death, it's just a basic battle, and then it's pure investigation. You didn't ask Esbeth any questions, any major questions. You didn't question her, and she was there she had 4 clues that she could have given you about speak to Ordo Magica. There was a red herring of a monk guy that you could have visited, who used to help with orphan children. But yeah, it was it's okay because you've got it's a 3-parter. The opening part is the Promised Land. Effectively, you come through the mountains and there's a couple of fights, and you kill 2 of the guys in Gorak's explorer group that are running away. You meet them and get to kill them. Then you go and you may learn a little bit about their exploration. Then you meet up with the
corrupt black cloaks.
Oh, the corrupt black cloaks. They aren't black cloaks. They are cultists from several miles away. Who the black cloaks, Bomelo went to them to kind of wipe them out. They got the better of him. They'd learnt about this skull, so they took the black coats and came into town with the idea that they were going to steal this skull, and create this dead king, and use his spirit as their cult, as part of their cult.
Yeah,
I was kind of feeling bad for killing them, but no, I'm not.
He was already dead. He was another chap.
Anybody wants to kick a 3.5-foot goblin to bits deserves what they get.
Yeah, there is a spell you can use which is summoning, which actually not so much spoils your adventure, but if you use that, it speeds it up even quicker, because you essentially you've got some of these changelings' blood. You cast summoning, and he has to come to you. At which point he's there, and you know who he is, and then you have to go and find the Blight Beast. But the fight with the Blight Beast is going to be difficult. There are options. You can team up with the black coats. You can hide from them. Yeah. But doing what you did, it enabled them to take the heat, and you grab the skull. You now have the skull. You decide what you're going to do with it. If you touch it, you become. You don't want to touch it.
But he just
tried to control you.
Users.
I'm not sure what would have happened if Ran would have failed his resolute check as it was trying to take you over.
I suspect Rand would have been left underneath there with the abomination.
Yeah, he'd have been there. Go, just fire your brimstone at the goblin. Goblin gone. At the undead guy. But that was great.
Thank you very much again.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you. It was excellent.
Yeah, let us know the next time you're playing again. We'll.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll try and work out what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to go through. I've got a whole bunch of different games. You kind of go through, get all the ones I want to play off. I think I'm going to try Tales from the Loop next. Maybe.
Oh, cool.
Because I've got Tales of the Loop, Mutant Year Zero, and another one that's on my list of adventures to do. Just because you buy so many games, it's like I really want to. Actually, should run them. So
I got rid of all the games 6 years ago when we moved abroad. So I've just started getting stuff again.
Not too many. Yeah, far too many.
What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand the concept of too many games.
Well, yeah, I've got boxes everywhere. I like the idea of running the Tales from the Loop and Mutant Year Zero. In hindsight, because Stranger Things season 2 was dropped today, I
My
maybe should
wife
have
did
run.
mention this.
Yeah, I should have. I thought I should have actually run that, but it wasn't until I set all this up and thought, oh yeah, Tales of the Loop's on.
Yeah, we might as well do Tales from the Loop
Season 2.
next because that people have seen Stranger Things.
Yes.
Because no one's seen it yet.
No.
No, wait.
Because
What
we're
do
here
you
playing
mean?
this.
Season 2 is out now, or what?
Yeah, today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
season 2, it got dropped today.
No, it's actually a really good idea to start at the start, because when people start seeing it, because there's this hype, right? And everybody's seen the first one, so
Yep.
it's like Christmas is coming, everybody's playing Christmassy games. Halloween is coming, everybody's playing Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's no fun to play it after because the hype is, past.
Yeah.
So it was actually a perfect time, would be right around now.
Yeah, the idea I've got with the opening scene, I haven't finished actually writing it. The opening scene for Tales of the Loop is you're all playing D&D, and one of the guys with you, there's a flash of light. He vanishes, half the table vanishes, and there's a number plate spinning around on the ground in front of you.
Oh, that's
Sounds cool.
And then obviously there's trying to discover what happened. I haven't worked out that bit yet, but like that opening scene is that game of D&D, or it's a game of Travelers and Trolls, or so it wasn't specifically D&D, but yeah. And then you've got the spinning number plates. I think is in Terminator. There's when he turns up, you get a spinning number plate.
And it's set in the 80s again, or?
Yes, it's set in the 80s. I don't know whether it's going to be set in the Swedish town or the American town. The Swedish town's quite cool, but it's got some really unpronounceable places in.
when you say D&D, does it mean that a number plate appears in like a medieval setting?
No, you are
okay.
sitting in the cellar playing D&D, and suddenly there's a
Oh,
flash
right,
of
right.
light. Half the table is gone, as is your friend, and all that's there in his place is a number plate.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much.
No problem. I can stop the broadcast there.